My lawyer's been arrested. My personal lawyer has been arrested. Hope I don't get sued between now and whenever he gets out. I mean, he's technically out right now, but he's still dealing with some charges.
What you think about?
Talk about a downward spiral, dude.
Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer.
I want to read you guys a message.
World decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it to back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, like, about a year ago, they started seeing a shift, and he started becoming, like, almost like more degenerate and shit, right? Like, the way he talked about women and his wife and shit. It was just like weird. I don't know. He changed, drastically changed.
This is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel
I don't think it's wild that she got arrested too. I mean, she was living with him, doing drugs with him. I do think she's flipped. So Nick, during his appearance, didn't even know she was out already. She's flipped. She's working with the state. She was, because Nick was planning on being her lawyer, right? And when he asked about it, they're like, "Oh, she's already out," and he didn't even know, dude. She's flipped for sure. Jamaica, they call that the gateway drug, I think, Turbo. I don't know. He just changed so drastically. I used to watch him, but then it just turned out like, I don't know. He just, in my mind, he just became like kind of like a shitbag. I don't know how else to say it. I didn't like the shit with he was catfished by someone pretending to be a woman in his audience. And then a bunch of tit pics and something. He was like flirting with her, and like his wife and 5 kids are in the house. That's kind of fucking weird. I don't know. Yeah, he took up for her, but you know, April's husband does a podcast, the Still Toe Mornings Cast, or I don't know what it's called. Still Toe Podcast. I don't know. And she left him 6 weeks ago. I'll show you the story for a second. Montegraph was strange as well. I guess he called Montegraph a pedo, and then Montegraph was going to sue him. And I guess Montegraph, according to Nick, Montegraph had already tried suing somebody for calling him a pedo, but it wouldn't hold up in court because he was a pedo. That was his claim, and he was talking to Medicare about it. That was all in one of his streams where he was really fucked up. He's saying incoherent shit. Anyways, let's roll the intro.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is?
Yeah, there's a guy that's talking about that, his stress levels and shit.
Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage.
Got that cocaine dick.
You know,
bro.
Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about my personal lawyer, Nick Rekieta. He represents me all the time. He's my good friend. But yeah, we're going to talk about him tonight. If you don't know who he is, he's a YouTube lawyer that kind of blew up. There's a video I'm about to show that kind of gives like a quick rundown of how he got started. But he basically blew up doing lawyer stuff. You know, there's a lot of lawyers that do well on YouTube. They cover like cases that are in the. I don't think they do it right. Most of them don't. If they're planning on covering a case for the public to consume, I know I do that, and I don't call and get permission or send an email or whatever. But with their law license, like if I get in trouble, what are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? But like these lawyers that cover cases, you know, they're supposed to be applying with almost every court in the nation. They're supposed to be applying to and get approval to cover it publicly. Like if I was a lawyer, I don't think I would cover cases like they do, but I would just be afraid that one person would not like them putting my shit out there. Like let's say I had a case that made me look really bad, and I found a bunch of law YouTubers, and my state requires that anybody that's covering it as the press requires them to get permission from the court system. I would immediately sue every fucking YouTube lawyer there is, because I know they make decent money, right? Especially if they're big YouTube lawyers. They're probably making more on YouTube than I'm making it as a lawyer. But anyways, I don't know. There are some lawyers that do that, though. I was just watching one today, and he was talking about how he got permission to cover the Nick case. Anyways, he blew up a couple different times. Some people have mentioned the Kyle Rittenhouse. He covered the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. He's covered like basically every case since like 2018, and a lot of people have had him on. So Ethan Ralph and the Kill Stream, you know, he's in with Medicare. He's in with a bunch of these people that used to do blood sports but are still internet personalities, and he would go on their shows. He's been with Andy Worski and all that, but it seems like all those guys kind of slip into some degeneracy, right? I think Ethan Ralph. I'm super proud of Ethan Ralph. If everything he's saying is true, like he's getting healthier, he's not drinking, he's not doing drugs, blah, blah, blah. But he went through a time where he was like pretty bad off. There's a video of him like cussing his mom out and shit. And it's just rough. But like Andy Worski's a cokehead. I don't know. I don't know about all these people, okay? I grew up watching them. That's the internet I grew up on, blood sports and shit like that. But I just don't have a desire to watch them anymore. Either way, we're going to be talking about Nick. This video gives a pretty good rundown right here. I'll back it up to where you guys can join with us. But if you want to support the show, if you like the content we bring, you like the stuff we're doing, please go to coldbeer.fund and make a contribution to the show to keep it going. That's what we do. I know this week's kind of sucked, but Memorial Day's here, so hopefully I'll be back on schedule now. I've been working my ass off to get the campground ready for Memorial Day. So it's all I can do now, whether it's ready or not. That's all I've got. So here we go. Let's check this out. This is a pretty quick rundown here. This is from Bearing. Bearing on the YouTube channel. I'll share his link in a second. This guy's like a commentary YouTuber. Like he just talks and everything. I got to get a lawyer that isn't strung out on coke, dude. I get sued all the fucking time. I'm actually being sued right now over, I guess, a debt I owed a long time ago. I'm literally currently being sued. He's definitely making bank off those cases, even if his shit's not monetized. Yeah, I got it. Even if his shit's not monetized, he's making bank off super chats.
I think it started with the Vic Moniana thing, if I'm saying that right. Some voice actor suing his employees for defamation after he got fired for like sexual harassment or something. And then it was the Johnny Depp case, and then the Kyle Rittenhouse case. And this guy would get like 100,000
oh, yeah, he
live
shows
viewers
the
at one
pictures in a
time.
second.
He was massive, and he was really strong.
Look how young he looks. Like I don't know what Nick's age is. I'm guessing in his 40s, but he doesn't look like, you know, a fucking like a rough 40-year-old here, right? If he told you he was like 35, you'd be like, oh, okay.
Straight-laced. Like, he's a Christian guy. He was always clean-cut. Him and his wife have 5 kids who they homeschool, for fuck's sake. Like, full-on wholesome. The guy hardly ever swore on stream, but he'd make jokes here and there. He'd have interesting people on, but sometime in the
Yeah, I can agree with that. He was pretty wholesome at one point. He barely cussed, and then he just turned to like... It really turned me off when they had like a woman in their Discord, and I guess I shouldn't judge if he wants to do like have an open relationship or have threesomes or whatever. It was just really weird thinking about his wife and 5 kids, and he's up at 3 a.m. trying to fuck some chick and get him to get this bitch that sent her titty pic on the Discord to come see him and hang out. And he's like, no, it's just a joke. I love my wife. Oh, I'll fuck you. Yeah, no, it's just a joke. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Last couple of years, he's just spiraled. He's observably a massive alcoholic, and I strongly suspect there's other stuff going on, but he's just starting to lose the plot. And this sort of culminated in a stream I saw yesterday. So the setup, he's involved in a lawsuit at the moment. Well, he's being sued at the moment is a better way to say that, because he called some guy a pedophile, and this guy didn't like it, obviously. Now, I don't think he's lost the case just yet, but he's lost some sort of appeal, so he's like one step closer to losing the case. Now, Nick's apparently...
I think they said that it was assigned to Judge Fisher. I don't know who the case is on the Monograph case, but I think during his hearing today, he said it was assigned to Judge Fisher.
He got the best defamation lawyers in the country working for him, and this other guy's got some unknown working for him. So Nick's not happy, and he just got maggoted drunk. I mean, he does that in most streams, but especially so in this one. Anyway, I think I'll get Tits in here to watch this, because she's a fresh set of eyes, and I just want to show her. Anyway, let's go.
When you're drinking.
All right, so I've got Tits here with me. Now, this story is fucked, and I kind of just want you here because, like, it's a hard one to explain. So I think that having someone in the room to explain it to will help. I mean, I'm going to fuck it up. There's so much law, and when I say law, I mean L-O-R-E, not case. He's getting sued by a dude called Montegraph. I don't know much about this guy, but he called this guy a pedophile. So he's getting sued for defamation. So I thought, well, this could be interesting. And
I don't know Montegraph. I've never really watched his content, I guess, except for like some clips people sent me. But I know one time one of my viewers watched him and I guess mentioned my name, and they all fucking like rated my stream and was like, hey, love your show. We're from Montegraph. I don't know him though.
it was fucking just insane.
Yeah, I heard you last night. You had your earpiece on and you kept going, oh, no. Oh, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you
PDF
Well,
files.
in this stream where he's talking about the current status of his case, I mean, he's calling the guy a pedophile repeatedly. He's calling the judge a stupid bitch, basically.
Oh, no.
Like, it's just insane. Medica's in the chat. Now, there's a clip I'll show you, but Medica actually introduced Rekieta to this guy because apparently he had some other lawsuit with some other guy over being called a pedophile. Now,
Oh, let me share this guy's link so you guys can go subscribe, give him a like, do something, because we're using some of his content. He basically put together the best video here.
I don't know whether the guy's a pedophile or not. It's probably just internet bullshit. I don't know. But anyway, let's see what Kino Casino was saying about it this morning.
It's the Super Bowl in the sector. It's the Rekieta drunken on drugs Super Bowl
Powdered toast,
party
everything.
with fucking Aaron M. Holty or Steel Toe Guy's wife in the corner, watching it all on. Rekieta's doing 45-minute cocaine benders in the bathroom.
Coming back with powder on his nose.
There's a powder on his nose. You can see.
So apparently there's a stream where he'd like disappeared for quite a while to go to the bathroom and came back and he still had coke like on his nose.
He's caught
Masturbating?
jerking off on camera. He's masturbating on camera.
There may or may not have been a masturbation segment.
He's
And then he's like, he was so fucked up. He's like, why did you pick this time to do this? And he's like fucking jerking his dick for a while. And then he's like, why is my camera still on?
the dark side fell on camera.
Now, all that's fucking true.
Oh, no.
All that's basically true. I don't think he was wanking on camera. There was someone on YouTube earlier saying they reckon it's that Aaron M. Holty's wife. See,
So this is the guy. We're going to look at this guy in a minute because he kind of tells a story how this all got started.
like I said, there's so much lore behind this. Remember that fucking drunk stream he did where he was in the hot tub with that?
Yeah, I liked him a lot. Like I said, it was just it just became like humor that I would enjoy if I was like a middle school kid. And I thought, you know, I got better things to watch than him get super fucking drunk and throw in a bunch of weird fucking racist and I don't know, cheating and everything else. Like, I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
That guy is all of a sudden getting divorced from his wife who was in the hot tub with him. And there's like...
This is the infamous hot tub stream.
They
So this is Nick on the right. This is his cross-eyed wife here. This is the April that was arrested with them. So these three on the right were arrested. And this is the husband we're going to watch in a second.
and all that sort of shit. But anyway, yeah, there was some guy on YouTube saying it was April in Holty sucking him off, which I don't know. It could have just been a joke. He might have been wanking. I don't know.
Wait, this was on stream?
This is on
last night?
stream last night, yeah.
All right, now watch this. I'm going to slow it down. This is Nick's stream. And here at the end of it, he's going to say, why is my camera still on? Because I guess the stream kept going and wasn't supposed to. But look how rough he looks right there. Dude, the drugs are fucking killing him. Like, I understand. Like, I don't even get mad at people that go, like, fucking, like, party every once in a while. As long as your kids are taken care of, your bills paid, I don't care if you recreationally use drugs. But there's a difference between recreational use of drugs and throwing your life away and killing yourself with drugs.
Why would you do this? Why now?
So what's he looking at right there? Why would you do this? Why now? Looks like he's looking at his dick, right?
Oh,
One eye
no,
closed.
look at him.
So he says, why would you do this? Why now? And people in the chat were apparently saying there was someone else in the room. He says, why would you do this? Why now? And then
Maybe his dick just got hard, and he's feverishly masturbated with it so many times on cocaine that he's got blisters. He's like, why are you getting hard right now? God damn it.
something's going on with his cock.
He looks worse here than like. I think you showed me just briefly last night what he looked like, and that must have been at the start of the stream or something, because he looks 10 times worse right now.
Yeah.
Look at those eyes, dude. He's so fucked up. And now watch this arm motion. Biting his finger. What is this? If you all tuned in and this was happening, what would you think was going on there? Oh, I was just hard driving my hard drive. It needed what the fuck? Why is he biting his finger and shit? What is going on, Nick? He's going after it, nodding out. Now it hurts a little.
Why is my camera still on?
Oh,
Why is my camera still on? Why is my camera still on? So obviously he was doing something that he shouldn't be doing. And he's like, why is my camera still on? During a stream, dude. He broadcast that.
no.
Yeah, so the theory is he was being sucked off by this Aaron's wife. Now, Aaron is getting divorced from his wife he's talking about
From
on
her
screen
husband.
now. It's all seedy and it's all fucking weird. And
What did
anyway,
you say in the beginning again? Why would you?
why would you do this right now?
Why would you do this? Why now?
So, I mean, is he talking to his cock? Is he talking to chat? What's he doing?
Is he
Yeah,
talking
but
to his cock? I think he's talking to his cock. I think his dick is friction blistered, and he's at the point to where every time it gets hard, he's like, why? I got cocaine mind. I can't not beat it. Why would you do this to me now?
I mean, it did kind of look like he was tugging himself off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like the movements. Oh, he looks so fucked up.
I know. Well, here's Rekieta a couple of years ago compared to
I
Rekieta.
just saw a donation come through. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Look at this side by side, dude. This is like maybe 3-4 years ago, even 5 years ago. This is a rough life he's living here. Yeah, I've seen his kids come in and stuff he says to his screen, stuff he says to his kids.
Now. So that's him like 2 years ago, 3 years ago on the left, and that's him on the right last night.
Oh no, he's dying.
I know. Like I said on Tism, he's got liver disease or something. Sure, look at his eyes. They're all fucked.
This is how
his skin looks fucked.
This is a few
Jaundice.
years.
Yeah. So that might be 2021 or something. I'm not sure.
Jesus.
Anyway, there's a few clips to go through. Now, Nick thinks he's a bit of a comedian because this Aaron dude sort of got him to do a stand-up routine somewhere at some club or something. And now Nick thinks he's all edgy and he's a comedian. And so he's not so much doing the law analysis stuff and he's just trying to be edgy and funny. But his job...
Yeah, that too. Like his bread and butter was the law analysis stuff. But he's usually so drunk and fucked up, he's just like trying to be a comedian and he's not good at it. Like when it was like a joke every once in a while, like within his realm of law, it wasn't that bad. But when he's just trying to tell jokes, it's not great.
Jokes don't fucking land. They don't even make sense. Now, I feel a bit sorry for this guy because, I mean, he's clearly fucked. You know what his problem is, right? He built this massive career streaming, doing like legal analysis. And his thing was to drink on stream. He'd like taste test like whiskeys and all that sort of stuff. And now he thinks it's his thing to be funny sort of thing. And he's just not funny. Like I said,
Not only would he taste test, someone mentioned in the chat, if you send him I've actually thought about this. Then I thought, man, like that would be horrible. I've thought about like chugging a beer or taking a shot for like super chats. There's no way. People could just punish me. You know what I mean? Like that, I couldn't do it. But he does it.
I feel sorry for the guy. This guy has 5 kids. He's got 5 kids and a wife who's asleep upstairs. Because remember, this stream happened.
By the way, it has been, I guess, at least partially confirmed. I don't know if you want to believe it or not, but that the kids are with family instead of with the state. So that's good.
Our dinner time last night. He lives in Minnesota. So that would have been
By the way, it's not even just that. Hold on, let me read this. It's not even just that they arrested him. They had to break down his fucking door. Minnesota-based lawyer and online legal analyst Nick Rekieta is facing a drug charge in Kandiyohi County. I don't know if that's right. Rekieta was arrested Thursday along with his wife Kayla and a fellow online personality. The fellow online personality somebody's asking about, it's just April. It's not like a different, like, well-known YouTuber. She used to be on her husband's show, and she's been featured on Nick's show and shit. But prosecutors filed charges against Rekieta and his wife on Friday for second-degree possession, child endangerment, and a gross misdemeanor firearm charge. According to the charges, law enforcement attempted to execute a search warrant. Now, what happened was someone that is bound by law to report child abuse, which a lot of times is anybody that has a state license. So you could be like a fucking not a lawyer because of client privilege, but like you could be a nurse or a social worker or a doctor, or if you have a license through your state, you're basically bound to report if you think there's child abuse. You're required to report. Now, a lot of people have been speculating on who did it. Was it the ex-husband or the ex-husband's ex-wife or all these crazy things? There's no way of telling, but someone had to do it. Teachers, yeah, that's a good one. Someone reported it that was bound. They had to, right? They reported it, and so when it's reported, it's mandatory. They have to go check it out. They have to go check it out. I think that Kiwi Farms turned on him, though. I think he's blaming some of this shit on Kiwi Farms. Anyways, someone had to report it. And so it says, according to charges, law enforcement attempted to execute a search warrant on May 23rd at Rekieta's home in Spicer and was greeted by a girl at the front door who would not let them inside. Now, I'm assuming this is April because they don't say a minor. They just say a girl, and it wasn't the homeowner. So this girl refused to let them inside. After Rekieta refused to provide the door code, law enforcement used a door ram to get inside and found Kayla M. Holtz, which is April, and 4 juveniles inside. So they rammed the door. Imagine how this is like, imagine how bad this traumatized kids. See their fucking door get kicked in. I mean, that kids are smarter than you think. I've seen a lot of people think that their kids are too young to realize they're going to the bathroom every 15 minutes, or they get up and crush a pill and snort it, or they're fucking smoking meth out of a glass pipe. Kids are smarter than what you think. They might not know exactly what it is, but they notice what you do. Like if every morning you get up and pack a fucking pipe and then step outside to smoke it, they know what you're doing. They might not know it's meth, but they know that dad gets up every morning and smokes a pipe, and that's how and if he doesn't have it, he's angry, kind of shit. Anyways, kicked down the door to get inside and found Kayla M. Holt and 4 juveniles inside. Law enforcement proceeded to search the master bedroom and bathroom, where they allegedly found a variety of drug paraphernalia, including 3 small baggies that tested positive for cocaine, 8 green tablets that tested positive for ketamine. I heard he had 28 grams of coke, 8 tablets of ketamine, and a digital scale, and several other items tested positive for cocaine, charges claim. Authorities also found a 6-hour AR with several magazines and loose ammunition underneath the bed, a spent shell casing on the floor, and located additional firearms and ammunition in the garage, according to court records. Now, if you listen to the ex-husband guy, he says that right before this arrest happened, that Nick's wife so he backed off when everybody started doing cocaine, and it actually made his wife leave him, according to him. And everybody knew his stance. Like, y'all are taking it too far. Like, cocaine hit every once in a while is one thing. Y'all are doing too much, too far, too fast. And he left. He claims that Nick's wife messaged him and said, "You're right. We should have never done this. It's destroying our family." Right before they got arrested. And then Nick was arrested with a black fucking eye that the cops claimed they didn't give him. So there might have been a big throuple fight. I don't know. Police took Rekieta and his wife, Kayla, into custody, and he told law enforcement that he and his wife stayed in the master bedroom, where law enforcement claimed to find most of the drug paraphernalia, but allegedly refused to answer questions about the cocaine, according to court records. That's good. Never answer questions. Before his arrest, some online users had raised concerns about Rekieta's health this week, sharing a clip of him appearing to doze off during a stream. Doze off while tugging on his dick. Law enforcement noted Rekieta had several injuries to his arms at the time of his arrest. They described these injuries as sores that are common with controlled substance users, charges said. So like when you get spun up, you'll pick at anything and make sores, basically. We've all seen meth sores. Rekieta, who owns a law firm based in Spicer, Minnesota, saw his online following skyrocket during the pandemic as he covered cases including Kyle Rittenhouse trial and Johnny Depp's lawsuit against Amber Heard. He has more than 150,000 followers on Twitter and nearly 450,000 subscribers on YouTube. He would regularly have tons and tons and tons of viewers. Someone said he made $1.3 million in a year on Super Chats. That's life-changing money, but you can't spend it all on fucking coke. Yeah, a lot of people online were speculating, like, why is he not allowed to have possession of a firearm? It doesn't seem like he wasn't allowed to have possession of a firearm. It's the possession of a firearm and also possession of a drugs that don't go together. Rekieta and his wife are set to make their first court appearance on Friday morning.
The early hours of the morning, it would have been like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So like I said, Medica was in the chat,
and he said plenty of times he streams at night because he like can't sleep. He's like he's got insomnia or some shit, and he'll stream all night, then like sleep for a couple hours, like take the kids to school and shit. But it's not insomnia. That'd be one thing if he was getting sleep or rest or taking naps. But he's staying up on benders and then driving his fucking kids to school.
And Medica's the one who introduced him to this guy who's now suing him, right? So let's go.
Jim, I know you remember this. You brought me on the show to talk about
Jim is Mr. Mediker.
Monograph losing his lawsuit to the one guy. Guy called him a pedo. Monograph sued him. Guy said, hey.
All right, so this is what he's talking about here. I'm going to zoom in on this and see what he's reading. Basically, he's talking about someone else called Montegraph a pedo. Montegraph sued him and lost. So what he's saying is if he sued him and lost, that must mean he is a pedo. But closer scrutiny reveals that given the individual split discussed above, some Colorado courts do weigh evidence at the second step of adjudicating anti-slap special motions to dismiss and requiring courts to evaluate plaintiffs' reasonable likelihood of prevailing on their claims. Review, blah, blah, blah. Review of the sufficiency. In that review, an motion called to determine plaintiff's allegations supporting affidavit. Viewed affidavit, blah, 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 on its merits. Supporting opposing affidavit is stating that upon which liability to defend based evaluation. So maybe this is part of the case or something where his case was thrown out during the anti-slap after they reviewed some of it. His likelihood to win. Like when they did Pebble's anti-slap, she had to have at least some likelihood to win. And the case proceeded, and it did.
Hey, no. We need this dismissed. He's like, okay, fuck. Shit. And he got fucking tossed right out of the court. Why is that? Because it was real.
So he's saying, Medica, we were laughing at this guy on stream because he tried to sue some guy for defamation because that guy called him a but it got thrown out of court because it was true. So that's one instance of him saying this guy is in fact a while he's getting sued by this guy for calling him a
Yeah.
I mean, fucking hell, Nick.
Yeah.
Someone said the case was lost because that's Montegraph. The case was lost because of jurisdiction in 2019 case. Okay, I don't know anything about the case. I'm just going off what these people are saying allegedly.
I mean, you shouldn't talk about your legal problems on stream or.
I've heard that he's currently losing the case against you, but he's doing really bad and he's been talking shit about the judge, but
on the internet, full stop.
Well,
but
he's meant to be an expert in this.
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
too,
he's a
isn't he?
fucking lawyer. But here he is, like, calling him a again. Anyway, here's Nick trying to be funny, and this is just crash and burn horrific. This is fucked.
Jim, by the way, how long do you have left to live, Jim?
I'm going to zoom in on him. Now, the quality's going to be fucked, but I just want to.
Now, everybody's made that joke about Mr. Mediker. Mr. Mediker left the internet for a while, came back, told everybody that he has some type of disease that's going to kill him. He's going to die. So everybody's made the joke about Jim dying. Some people maliciously, some people joking around with him. He even makes the joke about dying or whatever.
His like facial expressions and shit. He's going to do some sort of comedy bit or joke or something, and let's just see if we can sort of follow what he's trying to do, because I fucking can't. Maybe you can.
Seriously, I want to know, because I've had this dream of going.
So this is like a spun in his head. In his head, this is the best story that he could possibly tell right now. It's hilarious. Everybody will understand it. It's going to be a big hit. But it comes out as complete bullshit.
To your house, you're just sitting outside, like petting your roses or whatever. Do you have flowers? I don't know. Where you live doesn't beget flowers. Petting your whatever your perennials are. And your perineum. Like,
So he has a dream where he's sitting at, you can get a complete current events of this entire situation from the Alyssa Clips channel. Thank you. I'll check it out. Let me copy and paste that. Thank you, Monograph. So he says, I have a dream where I'm sitting outside of Mr. Madiker's house, petting his rose bush. Do you have roses? I'm petting your perennials, whatever they are.
Oh God, Jim. I just want you to live through this. Will you please have an enlarged prostate, but then get over it? And you're like, no, Nick, I can't. COVID has got me. I called government at first. I told them that COVID was going to kill millions of people, and then it did. And I'm like, Jim, the elderly aren't people. Neither are blacks. And you're like, no, but that's who they killed.
The elderly and the blacks aren't people.
So it killed old people and black people. I'm like, well, there aren't old black people, so those are white people.
See, what the fuck is he saying? I can't follow the joke.
He's so
Listen,
scatterbrained. He just keeps going off on like tangents. Don't make any sense. It's completely lost. I'm lost.
Oh, I'll go subscribe to that. Let me drop this link for the Alyssa Clips channel. She only has 8,000 subs. You guys go subscribe to her if you're interested in any of this stuff. There's the link. We'll check some of it out in a second.
Now, he's making, Jim's going to die jokes, which, I mean, a lot of people do that. I don't think Jim gives a fuck about that. No. He's going to die. But I don't follow along the humor here.
I'm like, Jim, why are you so scared? And you're like, I have COPD of the vagina or whatever. And you just want to,
I have COPD of the vagina or whatever. That's another good joke.
Don't want to die from Governor Tim Walz. Jim, I will protect
Still Toe Morning Show is what I was thinking of. The Still Toe Morning Show. That's the guy's podcast name.
you. I will put my mouth, buttocks, whatever it is, over your fragile, sensitive vagina. I'll save you from that.
I'll put my mouth or buttocks or whatever over your vaginal, sensitive vagina and save you.
I will put my buttocks or mouth over your fragile, sensitive vagina.
To save you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm speechless.
He's fucked up. What else can you say? He's just...
Yeah, and like I said, it just compounds
He's mental.
it.
He's verging on mental.
It just compounds it more that he's got 5 kids asleep upstairs or whatever, and a wife, and they homeschool the kids. He's talked about on stream before, not that I watch all his streams, I watch some of them, and I watch the Keno Casino boys talk about him, but he said on stream before that he stays up late because he's an insomniac or something, and he has a sleep for like a few hours, and then he gets up and he drives the kids around. I mean, can you fucking imagine being like this?
No.
Because this isn't a one-off. He's like...
I couldn't imagine. Like I said, kids... kids understand. Like I knew when people in my family were like doing drugs and like strung out, and there was big arguments and fights over it and shit. And I knew what was going on, and I was fucking like in I don't know, 6th grade or some shit.
There's plenty, like lots. Imagine sleeping for 3 or 4 hours, getting up, and then driving the kids to fucking soccer training or whatever the fuck.
You can't.
But your skin isn't going to give you COVID, and I didn't have COVID. What am I, Jewish? I don't have COVID.
What?
I don't know. No, I don't.
I'm not Jewish. I don't.
More
have
jokes.
Yeah, like I said, I'm speechless. If it was a bad joke, I could at least understand that it was a joke and go, well, that just didn't hit, kind of thing. But he's just saying shit.
Come to your house.
Deb, I saw you say it was a pastor. Do you have any? Is anybody proven that, or is that just what people are saying?
Sit around in your front yard until you come out because you can't stop me anymore. I'm just sitting there meditating over tea or whatever. Like, Jim will come. If I don't build it, Jim will come. You come out, you're like, what are you going to build there, champ? I'm like, I don't know, slugger. Can I call you slugger? Because I think I'm older than you, but if I'm not, you look younger than me because you look like you're dying.
You look younger than me because you look like you're dying.
You look younger than me because you look like you're dying.
Yeah.
That's back to front, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd think so, yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of true.
He's in
right
pretty
now, 'cause
pretty
you
rough
look
shape.
dying.
Yeah.
Pretty rough shape.
This is really bad.
I want to build a movie theater for you, Jim, to just play Charlie Brown movies for the rest of your life. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 minutes. I want that to happen. I want just have us have a good time. Why is it so hard? You're like, but I'm in St. Louis Park. You're not. I know, that's a joke. I'm in St. Louis Park. That's where all the Jews are. Hey, Jim, how much gold do you have? He's like, enough to mortgage 12 houses. But because they're Jews, 24 houses. A 3.5% to maybe 12%.
Oh my God, you scatterbrained.
Yeah, see, I think that was like in reference to like Jews give each other lower interest rates, I think, apparently. I mean, but I don't see where the joke is.
What the fuck was he saying before? Like, Jim comes out and he's like, what are you going to build, man? And like, I want to build you a movie theater so we can watch Charlie
I heard that too. It was conjecture. Okay.
Brown for 3 minutes because you only got 3
That a pastor from church made the report. Oh.
minutes to live. But Jews, yeah, what about those Jews? What the fuck?
I see the probable cause affidavit. I'm getting ready to read it.
Instead, I need you to go. I need you to go to the Mayo Clinic. Hand him a jar of Hellman's and say, please, gentlemen.
See, I get that one. That was a...
Go to the Mayo Clinic, and
really
Hellman's is Mayo. Oh my goodness. On or about May 23rd, 2024, in the county of whatever that is, Minnesota. Defendant possessed one or more mixtures of total weight of 25 grams or more containing cocaine, a Schedule 2 controlled substance. To wit, defendant possessed over 25 grams of cocaine. A user of any controlled substance unlawfully possessed ammunition, a pistol, semi-automatic military style assault weapon, or any other firearm. Endangered child. Okay. A licensed police officer is employed with the county sheriff's office. In this capacity, your complaint believes the following to be true. On May 23rd, 2024, approximately 9:13 a.m., a search warrant was executed at 12291 51st Street in Spicer, Minnesota. Nicholas Robert Rekieta, a date of birth 12/16/81, and Kayla Christine Rekieta, date of birth 3/9/84, reside at the residence. Law enforcement approached the residence. Nicholas Rekieta was traveling southbound on 51st Street in a vehicle. Nicholas Rekieta was stopped by law enforcement upon knocking on the door. A juvenile female opened the door. Oh, a juvenile female, so maybe it was one of the kids, and wouldn't let them in. Nicholas Rekieta would not provide a door code to enter the residence. Law enforcement entered the home utilizing the door ram. Upon entry, law enforcement located Kayla Rekieta and April M. Holt, and 4 juveniles were also in the home. Officers noted the home was extremely cluttered. There were clothes everywhere, dirty dishes, dust, and an overall dirty home. Damn it. This is when you start letting shit slip to be a fucking cokehead. Nicholas Rekieta returned to the home with law enforcement. He demanded a copy of the search warrant. When given a copy, he looked at it and threw it on the ground. During the search warrant, law enforcement located the following in the master bedroom. The following items were located in the master bedroom near the nightstand. A yellow snort tube, a tutor, tested positive for cocaine. A black vial with a white substance inside that field tested positive for cocaine and weighed 2.2 grams. Credit cards listed to April M. Holt, 2 credit cards. 2 .22 caliber spent shell casings on the floor of the nightstand in the master bedroom. On the floor of the nightstand. The bottom drawer, maybe? Or on the floor under the nightstand, maybe? Following items located underneath the bed in the master bedroom. 6-hour AR with several magazines, loose ammunition, serial number 20G002638. Following item is located in the master bedroom dresser. A glass container with metal filter and grinder and glass container that field tested positive for cocaine. And you know that shit's probably stepped on with fatty. The following items are located in a safe in the master bedroom. A bag of cards and dollar bills that tested positive for cocaine. A large corner cut baggie with white powder that field tested positive for cocaine and weighed 18.96 grams, dude. Almost a 20-gram corner cut. That's where you take it, you put it in a Ziploc baggie or whatever. Usually you use something thinner, like a sandwich baggie. And you take it and pack it all into the corner to where it almost looks like a plumb bob, if you know what I mean. And then you twist it, you cut it a little bit higher, and you twist it up till it twists back up. You don't have to tie a knot. If you twist it tight enough, the plastic twists back on top of itself, and once it flips over, you don't have to tie a knot. It holds itself there. 19 grams of cocaine in it. 3 small baggies that field tested positive for cocaine and weighed 5.49 grams with packaging. 8 green-colored tablets that field tested positive for ketamine. A digital scale that field tested positive for cocaine. A metal pan with white powder on it that tested positive for cocaine. Usually it's the little metal trays they use. We used to, when I did drugs, we stole, you know at a restaurant when they bring you your check and it'll be in a little plastic tray that you can slide your card under the button? Well, you can take with a lighter and heat up that little flap that holds the card and push it down in there and make it flat, and that's a little drug tray. We'd bust down on that. The following items are located in a safe in the master bedroom closet. A $100 bill with white powder residue that field tested positive for cocaine. Bindle, white bag with white powder substance that field tested positive for cocaine. A cocaine scooper. 2 baggies within a baggie with a funnel. Unknown brown substance. Additional firearms and ammunition were located in the garage. Total amount of measurable cocaine in the master bedroom is 26.67 grams with packaging. Cocaine is a Schedule II controlled substance. Ketamine is a Schedule I controlled substance. Detective Pomplin met with Nicholas Rekieta outside the residence. He was read his Miranda rights, and he agreed to speak with officers without counsel. Nicholas Rekieta indicated that he sleeps in the master bedroom with Kayla Rekieta. He indicated that April M. Holt was at the home visiting, which is not true. She was living there for weeks. Nicholas Rekieta and Kayla Rekieta were placed under arrest. While being placed under arrest, Detective Pumplin noted several injuries to the arms of Nicholas Rekieta that appeared consistent with sores that are common with controlled substance users. They were transported to the county jail where Kayla Rekieta did not speak with officers. At the county jail, Nicholas Rekieta was again read his Miranda rights and agreed to speak with officers without an attorney. Nicholas Rekieta refused to answer any questions regarding cocaine or other controlled substance use. Nicholas Rekieta indicates that he lives in the residence. He stays in the master bedroom with his wife, Kayla Rekieta. April Himmel was a friend who was visiting and does not live at the residence. While being booked into the jail, Kayla Rekieta requested that her prescription medication be brought to her. Upon reviewing the prescription bottles for Kayla Rekieta, they were brought to the jail. Jail staff found 2 unknown pills and gummies in one of the prescription bottles. These items did not match the prescription on the bottle. Signatures and approvals. Finding a probable cause. Conditions where applicable defendant's arrest or other lawful steps. Summons warrant. Order of detention. Judicial officer. Complaint dismissed. Scribe sworn. Electronically signed. Okay. Damn, it's a lot of charges. Some of them some are up to like 500 or 5 years. 25 years, one of them. 500. 25 years. 5 years. 25 years. Crazy.
A shit joke, because the Mayo Clinic is like a cancer clinic,
Right.
a chronic illness clinic or something, and Hellman's is a brand of Mayo.
So it was listed as, it's literally listed as, it says 1, 2, 3, or 4. I guess they put them all together when it's a large amount, maybe. I don't know why they did that.
Possession of
But 1, 2, 3, or 4 is what it says. But when you actually read the charge, it says drug, second degree, possession 25 grams or more, cocaine or methamphetamine. Drugs in second degree, seller possession. Endangered child. Sell possession of a controlled substance. G, endangered child. Okay.
It's just a shit joke from a drunk, a rambling drunk.
Save me. Save me. Here's Hellman's. Put it on the back of the bread. Put it on a sandwich. Put it on, oh God. Put it on a soup. Chicken wings. I don't care. I just need the Hellman's mayonnaise to keep me sustained.
The Mayo Clinic. And get it Mayo like mayonnaise. Hellman's.
Jim, I'm kidding. Seriously, dude.
Oh, he's kidding.
All right, so how did this get started? This is the video I wanted to get to. We'll go check out that clip channel. But one of the videos I definitely want to get to is this, because this guy, his wife was the other one that was arrested. And if you start about, this is Still Toe Morning Show, and if you start at about 15 minutes in, he tells a story of what happened. And it's a sad story, honestly. Like, he lost his fucking wife to this.
Maybe he'll put me in a joking mood. Good old JR says chances are the judges are out for the rest of the holiday weekend. Best thing for him. Best thing for him. CJ with $5. Can you shed light on how April went from no donuts to full-blown addict? Was she
No, she wouldn't even eat donuts to a full-blown addict.
immediately hooked? How did it play out early on? By the way, props to you. We were all hanging out. Nick brought it out. She did a little bump here. She did a little bump there. I did as well. I did a couple.
Never tried it, never done it, nothing. Just bring it out at a party and we'll do a little bit here, a little bit there. Some people just have personalities that they tried a few times and that's it. That's all they want to do. I used to do drugs, obviously, and sell drugs. And like I met a person one time, I felt bad for it. I sold drugs to a person one time, and literally a couple times I had sold her a decent amount, and before I could even make it back home, she was calling for more, asking me if I put shit on credit, trying to give me pussy for drugs. Like crazy, and she just couldn't function without it, and she hadn't been doing it for like 2 weeks. It's insane. But other people, like I used to do drugs, And then if we didn't have drugs, I just went to work until we did have drugs. You know what I mean? Like other people couldn't go to work. They'd be up puking. They'd be fucking, they couldn't live. They didn't want it. They'd be robbing their grandparents. I just went on about my life until drugs came back. I don't know.
And the only thing is I wasn't a big fan. And Nick, I'll say this about Nick. Nick makes it look cool. Hey, come on, I got a little container here.
I felt like shit. I've felt like shit without drugs. Like felt bad. Never really like puking or like the shits. I've done so many drugs one night. I wake up with like a drug hangover the next day. But I've never been to the point where like I would fucking go rob somebody just to get drugs, or I would call into work or lose my job over drugs, or like I don't know. It just didn't. It didn't affect me the same way, and we were doing the same amounts. Like we would all get them together and fucking do them. We'd get the same amount, do the same amount. I don't know.
You know, he makes it look
genetic,
like,
maybe.
It's a glamorous thing. Until you realize he's dropped down to a skeleton, and it's not so glamorous.
So Nick makes it look kind of like a glamorous thing, or like a one time, not that big. I don't know if it's as glamorous as he makes it look like it's not a big deal.
And then not too long after that, I told her, I said, we got to not fuck around with this. I go, I don't want you fucking around with cocaine so much.
Even when I did drugs and had kids, it was always like when they like had a sitter or whatever, and it was just like at a party when we didn't have the kids with us or something. But I was so embarrassed by it. The fact that I was a fucking parent. And even though the kids were taken care of, my bills are paid, I don't do it all the time. I was so embarrassed I wouldn't even fucking tell people. Like, there's no goddamn way. Because I just knew they were judging me for being like having kids, or a kid, I guess at the time, one kid. Being a parent and fucking going out and recreational using drugs. I wouldn't even fucking tell people. I was so embarrassed. But other people are like, they let it ruin their whole fucking lives.
And she goes, it's just a little bit. It's like that much. And I don't even do it that often. And it's fun for me. I don't want you fucking around with cocaine so much.
So he confronted her. And this is how you know you're already dealing with somebody that it's got their claws in them already. You say, hey, like, maybe you're not aggressive. You're not like, hey, you fucking crackheaded bitch. You're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing so much, you know? And they're like, it's just a little bit. They're always defensive.
And then not too long after that, I told her, I said, you got to not fuck around with this. I go, I don't want you fucking around with cocaine so much. And she goes, it's just a little bit. It's like that much. And I don't even do it that often. And it's fun for me. And you're just jealous that our friends like me more than you. And I told her, I said, honey, those lines are going to get longer and longer, and they're going to get more and more, they're going to get more and more frequent. And we had a giant fight about that. By the end of that fight, I was a monster. I was a piece of shit. I was garbage. And she left the house. One of a couple times she would leave the house over a fight about cocaine. At the end of which I would be a monster and an animal and a piece of shit. And I tell these stories because I hope they'll help someone, because I couldn't. I tried. I couldn't. I don't know how. I'm not equipped. And I would talk to Nick. Which, by the way, big mistake. Nick rationalizes everything. Everything he uses, Nick's got an excuse. He's got a reason. He's got all of it. And I told Nick, and by the way, these are not in chronological order. These are just conversations I recall having. I would talk to Nick, and I would go, Nick, are you sure you guys aren't doing too much of that shit? I mean, it's early in the morning. There was one time where they'd done it twice by 8:30 in the morning. You know?
Again, that's having to have it to function. You're too far. Like if you can't go to work, go through your day, do your thing without having to have some illegal substance, you're probably in a little deep, right? Doing it twice before 8:30 in the morning, like Jesus Christ.
There were times where it was just throughout.
It seems that way, Burgie. Even though I don't know if anybody's ever openly come out and said it, it seems that way. And especially when drugs are involved, that happens a lot of times. Because even if the wife doesn't want to be in a relationship, money runs out. And bitches always have an endless supply of pussy for drugs. Plus other things happen when everybody's fucked up and whatever.
Today,
especially on when you do coke and alcohol. Man, you can drink so much more, and you don't even feel that drunk. Like, but you're technically wasted. You're just alert. It's crazy.
And I remember getting a kiss and my fucking lips turning numb. It's a heartbreaking feeling in the middle of the day. And I remember talking to Nick about it and saying, "Are you sure this is all right?" I remember Nick ripping 2 massive fucking rails right in front of me, and I literally put my hand on his shoulder, and I said, dude, you need to fucking chill. I'm worried that you're going to fucking die. No, don't worry. It's okay. I read up about this a lot. I can show you all the literature and everything else. It's okay, because it doesn't all hit you right at once. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Another time I told him, I go, this guy, like, I'm worried about this. I remember telling him one time, I go, my fucking wife is doing cocaine a lot, dude. How the fuck do we stop this? And he goes, you have to understand. Instead of going, holy shit.
Listen to this excuse. So he says, my wife's doing a lot of fucking cocaine. What do I need to do? How do I stop this?
I remember telling him one time, I go, my fucking wife is doing cocaine a lot, dude. How the fuck do we stop this? And he goes, you have to understand. Instead of going, holy shit, you're right. We've got families. This is a fucking problem. He goes, you have to understand, sometimes people have stress levels that are up here, and their minds can only handle this much stress. And then when you do the stimulant, it bumps you up like this, and then you can handle more stress. I'm like, Nick, you fucking lunatic. Lower your stress levels, because it ain't doing you any favors. I checked in with April last week, and I said, I just want to make sure you're safe. I want to make sure you're being healthy. I didn't say anything about cocaine, because if you even mentioned it, it would, you're a liar.
I don't know if Mike Lindell's always on the show or if he just comes in for the drug specials, because he's still got a little toot in him.
You're this, yeah. So I didn't even mention drugs. I want to make sure you're being healthy. I didn't say anything about cocaine, because if you even mentioned it, it would, you're a liar. You're this, yeah. So I didn't even mention drugs. I just said I want to make sure you're happy and safe. Everyone here is fine. Everyone is good. Everyone is great. We're doing good. I'm healthy. I'm the same person I always was. I'm like, that's not what I asked, but okay.
That's another clear sign, right? When, like, sometimes you're just legitimately worried. You're like, hey, I'm just checking on you. Are you all right? They're like, oh, what are you trying to call me a crackhead? I'm not some person living on the street, right? I still pay my bills. I still do my thing. Everybody's taken care of. I've had people do that to me too.
Okay. I got a text from Kayla on Monday. And Kayla said to me, she goes, you were right. All of this stuff is destroying us. It can't be done. I guess society is right about some things. That was the exact text I got. Heartbreaking.
That's not a pillow. That's a corner bag with 29.9 grams of cocaine in it.
I told April this weekend, I believe it was Sunday or Monday, I said, why don't you come home? It's not safe there. I got a text back that said, that will never be my home again.
How fucked up. Like, they had a happy life, apparently, until drugs. And she knew she had to pick one of the... He doesn't like the drugs. He doesn't want her doing the drugs. He's not doing the drugs with her. So now, gotta pick one or the other. She said, that'll never be my home again. If this is true. I mean, I feel bad for him, but he could be making part of it up.
So that's why on the show I said, girls, if you're listening...
Oh, thank you, Monograph. Appreciate it.
Get the fuck out of there. Get out of there. I don't know if, they were already arrested at that point or what. But they need this. I saw those pictures, man. They didn't look like that one.
And especially someone that you've, like, married or whatever. You do feel bad. Like, people I dated that got strung out. I know I felt this one. I don't even want to tell this story. I saw a girl pass out one time, like, go unconscious, and I felt so fucking bad. But you feel like you didn't do enough. I was a drug dealer. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I left. I was on the phone with a family member. I was on the phone with April's parents last night trying to... I was on the phone with her dad. Trying to devise a way to, get her to Litchfield.
I'm just going to make myself look bad.
For the people who have been saying, Aaron, oh, you abandoned, I'm doing everything. Up until yesterday, I was doing everything I could. I got a call from a family member of Kayla's. She said, what do I do? She said, you were a positive influence in there. What do I do? And I said, if you can get her away from him, if you can get her out of that house and to a neutral place, I will meet you. I will try to help. But you got to get her out of there because he's a fucking ringleader. He's got a lot of cult leader-like tendencies. And I think it's from the drugs and the drinking. I don't think it's him as a human being. The gaslighting you get from addicts is fucking unreal. Makes you question everything you know. And I said, if you get Kayla out of there to a neutral place, I will meet you. I will talk to her with you. But she'd have to go to some kind of facility or meeting or something like that right after that. I mean, they all did have family members that gave a shit. So, if anyone handling the internet is going, oh, Aaron, this must feel like you told you so, right? You fucking called it, you blah, blah, blah. There's not a part of me that feels good about this right now. Except the only thing that feels good to me is that maybe this will get them the help they need. Because especially Nick. And I mean, and fuck Nick, by the way. Like, he introduced my wife to this and it took over. So fuck him, like, for the rest of his life. I will never be okay with that man again. Like, fuck him. Fuck what he's done to his family. Fuck him for that. Fuck him for what he's done to those children. And fuck him for what he did to my wife's future. Not that they all don't play a part for what they've done. But if the Rekieta household was run by Aaron Rekieta instead of Nick Rekieta, everyone would be a lot happier today. I can tell you that right now. You move the people in the Rekieta household into the Imholt household. Sorry, girls, there may not be a Mustang, but there'd be peace and freedom. I don't think they let you haul that Mustang into the county jail. Yeah, I'm mad. I'm pissed off. My wife and I, after our trip to Las Vegas this year, were on cloud nine. I don't think we'd ever been better. I was a little concerned that we did coke the night before we left. I didn't think that was a good thing, but we were away from it for a week. Went to the Vikings game, did all the things we love to do together. Went out to eat, went to the cigar lounge, played cards together, went to the Vikings game, hung out with all our friends, our real friends, and just had a great time. And when we got back, it was on like Donkey Kong, as they say. And the road to ruin began.
So tried cocaine in Vegas, then come back, and that's all she really wanted to do.
Shit. Let's catch up with you guys. Coltrane with $2 says, don't look at my handle picture. It's look. Guys, I can't protect them. If you're sitting here going, oh, Aaron's going to be mad if I have mugshots as my YouTube handle. I can't protect them, guys. You guys all know the lies I told for these people for the last few months. Protecting them, I can't protect them anymore.
For the last 6 weeks, I think he said that she moved out and moved in with them.
EJ with $5 says, given the proximity between Spicer and Litchfield, was Ape using her parents' home as a base to move to and from to get her filled? No, she was just there all the time. Dr. Spergenberg with $2.79 says, for the goal, good job today on MLC. This is radio. Thank you. Alex Nario with $4.99 says, oh, April, this makes me really sad. It's tragic. And people are saying, Aaron, I'm glad you got out and got your kids out. Well, yeah, that goes without saying, but that doesn't make this good. I would have liked to get more people out. Nick the Milkman with $5 says, Aaron, I hope you're looking forward instead of at the past. They chose their road and you chose yours and came out on top. Keep your head up, man. Cliff Dunnage says, no more hunting for Woods Girl. Felony. Well, she's a bow and arrow hunter, I think. I don't know. Funeral Director with $5 says, don't blame yourself for her actions. Be comfortable with yourself that you did your best and can't hold regret from not trying more. Great father, great man. Not a great father, not a great man, but trying to be one. Jeff Shepard, $1.99. Red Bar is watching. Fucking A. What's up, Mike? Mike? Oh, shit. I lost where all my super chats were.
God, I would love to hear Red Bar's take on this. Oh, Hank Hill.
There we go. Dr. Chow says, likely their blow is cut with Fetty equals addictive. Oh, no, ask Nick. He buys the best stuff there is. Oh, no, you don't have to worry about that with mine. It's special. It's different. Everything with Nick is special and different. Addiction is special and different. That's for other people. That's for poor people, not for me. Aaron, drop me a link. We'll chat it out, says Ian Ellis. Sorry, buddy. Peter Sky Parker says, send White Boy Rick the link. RIP Tech D. Brittany Boo with $5. I've got nothing. Just want to hug you and say we're all here to support you. Thank you. But don't support me and don't hug me. Think of the Rekieta kids tonight. Do me that favor. I'm not a victim. All right? I'm safe. I'm fine. If you've got any prayers to throw anywhere, you throw them to those 5 fucking Rekieta kids who are thankfully safe right now, as safe as they've been in years. But don't fucking, Aaron, sending best thoughts and prayers your way. There's 5 children in Minnesota right now that need your thoughts and prayers a hell of a lot more than I do. So don't give them to me. I'll be fine. Number one, Josh Denny fan with $5 says the Red Bar Super Chat is the real Mike. Put him on the board, numbnuts. Well, then in that case, Mike David is in first place. You know what I'll do? I won't send Mike the $100 to Stoney's because he'll never
$2.99 is what he's saying.
fucking use it.
He says, thanks for the amazing week of entertainment.
If Jules or somebody would send me Mike's sizes and address I can send it to, I'll send Mike a bunch of merch. How's that? BJ says, chances of Ape doing a Henry Hill on Nick, serious questions, hashtag plea deal with $5. I'd tell her to rat him out, but she ain't going to listen to me. I don't know what there is to rat him out.
I swear, I think she might have. Nick didn't even know she was out of fucking jail already. I think she's working with the prosecutors, and she's going to say, look, he got me hooked. He sells. He does it. He does everything. All I did was show up, and they said, hey, do you want some? Use of drugs is not technically illegal. It's a possession of drugs. So, I swear, I think she's already working. All right, let's check out this this channel that had all the clips of this story. It's just wild how some people change so quickly. So quickly. This person's got all the clips. The Ralpha curse. Ralph and Nick have not been on good terms and at times, and sometimes they are. It's hard for me to keep up, to be honest with you.
Little bits and $10 happy about it or not, the Ralph curse cannot be escaped. How funny was that fart on stream now, Mr. Lord?
No! You're gonna turn me back into the old me! You're trying to turn me back into the old me! No! Did the Ralph curse strike again? I guess you should have did that show with me, Nick! Oh!
I'm steady trying
Oh no! So it looks like she's got all the clips from all this. Cleaning out her closet from May of 2024. The Rekieta's episode 1. Let's see what this is.
I honestly,
this is Aaron again.
I would leave it the fuck alone if I were him. But hey, if you,
it says in her arrest,
if people are gonna fuck up and make mistakes, let them fuck up and make mistakes. Because oh boy, I don't think you want me telling the fix her story. I don't think you want that one. I don't know if you want me to tell the soulmate story.
Oh my God. Look at this right quick. This is from Reddit. So, this is 62 weeks ago. 10 weeks ago. By the way, his wife is cross-eyed as fuck. So, 62 weeks ago. 10 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. They even, like, even though they're smiling for a fuck, they look like they're in pain, don't they? I've always said this, people that are strung out on stimulants, they look like they're in pain all the time.
I don't think you want me to tell the story that just happened upstairs. You want me to tell the what's that? Okay. Huh. You want me to tell the crying on the floor story? You want to play the you want to talk about the okay. I honestly I can't even hint at that one.
Let me see if I can find her age. Booking date at 20. She's 29. April is 29.
Boy, I was going to keep all these to myself too. This could get really fucking fun. What do I have to lose?
Wait just a second. Let me just show you what his wife looks like not in selfie mode. there's not enough filters in all the Chinese spy apps. Just so everybody knows.
I'm not doing drugs. What? I'm not. I'm not doing drugs. I ain't married. I have a beer in my hand, so I can't really go, I'm not drinking at all. I'm drinking a responsible human amount.
He's laying it all out there, ain't he?
You want me to, do you want me to tell the,
there's not enough melatonin in the world, bug dude, that made me look like that's got a good face tune on it.
You want me to tell the couch story? Do I need to tell the oh boy, this could get fun. Do I need to tell the what the fuck is that on the couch story? How about the cornered in the bathroom on Super Bowl Sunday story? How fucking bad do you want to do it, motherfucker?
He knows all the dirty secrets, doesn't he?
Just in case, if he doesn't say anything, then we're going to be fine. But, I mean, what you want to talk about? Guys, make sure you're clipping it for me tonight. Any clips about your boy Aaron, make sure you send them to me, because I'd love to talk about him. Ooh. Do you
That's another thing they got going on. When you're strung out on coke, it's basically like you've got like this air of confidence. So like, let's say I'm strung out on coke and you're not. And I hear that you're talking shit about me. I will immediately go into talking shit about you, and you're on the straight and narrow, clean cut, not doing anything, living your best life, knowing that you have all the evidence that I'm a fucking cokehead. And I still have this, or a meth head, and I still have this confidence, like, fuck her. Only God can judge me. This little motherfucker. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Want me to tell the snow angel story? I can tell the snow angel story. No, you don't know the snow angel story.
Nick had cocaine in a fake shell casing on the couch with the kids.
I can't. I do. All the other hintings are going to give away too much. Oh yeah, I would not fuck with me on this one. Maybe I need to put in a call to Worski. Because Worski told me, he goes, you ready to say everything about Nick? No. And I told him, I said, no, not everything. Just going to talk about me.
Get that brown.
After tonight, maybe we give the old Keno Casino a call. This could be fascinating. Get on the casino. No, I'm not going to do it yet. We got to make sure something gets said. If nothing gets said, then I don't have to do any of this. You have to. He's going in on you. Well, and if he does, look, I don't need to get ahead of anything. There is nothing you can say about me that I ain't said about me. Well, there are things you can say about me that I haven't said about myself, but that's just to protect other people. You want to hurt other people by coming after me, fucking go for it. I wouldn't. But then again, I'm different, I guess. Oh. No. Divorce court should be interesting. Let's just get that fucking divorce done with, is what I say. Beef broth based with $2 says if he talked.
I want to hear all those stories now. $40 Mike. Look out. Let's open some of these. There's so many bad clips and shit. He says he didn't, and someone said that it says a pastor did.
He threatened to kill Cal Rolia says, would you trust Ralph? He threatened to kill his wife, their children. No, I wouldn't have Ralph watch my children. People are so weird about it. They're like, who do you have watch your children? I'm like, nobody on the internet. None of y'all. There's Ralph. Dick Masterson watching children. Jesus Christ, why would you do that? Why would you have these people watch your kids? You wouldn't have them watch your kids. No, would you?
He made a
Nano Nomads. Are you
a remark once where it's like, why would I trust anybody with watching my kids? I would never trust anyone except like the most like the closest friends to my family to watch my kids. And then he let that Aaron M. Holta guy that he was swinging with watch his kids and like make SpaghettiOs for him. And now he's trying to do that. I would never let anyone watch my kids' routine again. It's really bizarre.
Random says, would you let Aaron feed his kids canned spaghetti?
Someone in chat
Would you let Aaron feed your kids canned spaghetti?
asked him about the spaghetti.
Do you mind a gas?
I guess.
SpaghettiOs or whatever?
Oh, he's felt it. He's like genuinely staggered by that question. He can't do like his coat bullshit that he does with Vito and Dick because he knows about the SpaghettiOs. He knows that the SpaghettiOs is real, and he has to cope about it.
You're gonna come to my house and cook my kids SpaghettiOs. Just do it right. Just do it right. This is so weird.
He's so
This is so
fucked
weird.
up.
SpaghettiOs.
Dude, how is he functioning? I wish I would have known how bad he was. I'd have been watching his streams. It's just like a beautiful disaster. But I still knew him as the guy I quit watching and got drunk too much.
Can you not cook SpaghettiOs?
Look, I did it too. Like there's been fucking streams. If you've been around long enough, there's been streams I drunk so much and worked all goddamn day and passed out on the stream. But it wasn't like this. I hope not.
What are you? What are you? Hypocrite, termless, mentally disabled, mentally
Hypocrite.
handicapped, and vaginally broken? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Just go to goddamn cooking spaghetti. Go for it. It's cool.
Fresh off the heels of the, I would never let someone watch my kids.
I don't
Though.
get it. People have their own like jokes and theories, and then they run with them. They stop tagging you, so you can't see them.
Canned spaghetti. Rekieta powders his nose, coke-splaining.
Yep. He actually just had to pee this time. He didn't. He had to do a bump. That's it.
Can you wear one?
Oh, it's on his nose. You can
Yes,
see the
it's
white
white.
on his nose.
It's who white. It's so white when I wear one of those hoodies and I go to
You can see it right there on the tip of his nose. Right there.
Chicago. I just kneel on black people all the time.
You want to zoom? I'm pretty sure you can see it without the zoom, but I got you. There's a big white spot right here on his nose, right on this corner. It's hard for me to move that small, but right here is a big white spot. I'll play it.
So I do. Anyway, I tried to find it. I tried to find my white Nationalist Medicare Fuentes hoodie, and I didn't have it in my closet. What am I, Eminem? Like I used to have cool stuff in my closet, and now all I have is woke bullshit? I talking to Lady Raggins. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's my white hoodie? She's like, you wore a white hoodie? I don't know, maybe. I was in Tennessee. I don't know what I did.
Is this the one where he has the powder like on his nose or in his mustache or something? I think there is like a little speck of white like on his right nostril.
I don't know where it is.
I can kind of see it.
So you're like, oh God.
I can definitely see it.
I just wanted to back my friend Jim.
Is it like on the underside of his
He
nose?
doesn't have backs.
It is. You can see it. You can see the little speck. It's on the tip of his nose on the left side. It's like at the very, very tip of the nose. Is my mouse visible? Yeah, it is. Right here. See it? People are saying that that's Coke. Let's compare this. Let's go back before the break and see. I'll skip back to whatever. See, because there's a point where he was there. Oh yeah, he doesn't have a white speck right there normally. Then we go back to this. Yeah, and then there's a white speck.
Oh no. Oh no.
Jim, I don't know if you know this, but there's a guy
Oh no.
shirts with you and your alleged picture on the back. On the back because the Bears liked him or whatever. Patio furniture. Maybe sweat.
So part of the problem is without a stimulant, he's so drunk the way he's slurring his words and stuff. There is no way that he would be able to stay on any topic. And like I know he's bouncing around a lot, but I don't think he could be this drunk and this coherent. You have to have that stimulant to be this drunk and semi-coherent. If he wasn't on cocaine or something, he would just be staring, right, and passing out and shit. But the cocaine keeps you awake while the fucking alcohol is trying to slow you down.
Sweatshirts, his hoodie. It's got pockets in the front because people use pockets on shirts. I don't know why. Like calculus students in or whatever. His pockets on the front of their shirts. But had Medicare shirts that he made for the Knoxville Knockout back when Chef Red Pill was still alive.
Chef Red Pill. Someone already changed their name on the Kiwi Farms. I got a name change request just today to change somebody's name to Chef Red Pill.
Wasn't it Chef? Coach Red Pill. Chef Red Pill would be cooler. Coach was alive. Ralph and Dick and Coach were all friends. I was there. Andy Worski was still doing cocaine. And we're like, this is funny. And Tonka still couldn't walk. Just like it was in 4th grade or whatever. Did Andy wear one during the boxing match? Yes, it's white. It's who white? It's so white when I wear.
Okay. Sucks and Randazza sucks and Nate the lawyer doesn't suck too. Thoughts on Dark Side Phil, Nick's special moment. The autistic weirdo. Mr. Medicare has entered the chat. Would he die already? Talking Montegraph for the first time, memory lane. This might be what we just watched.
I want everybody to remember the first time I talked about Montegraph was when Jim, Mr. Medicare, asked me to come on his show.
Kinda.
And talk about Montegraph losing a defamation lawsuit against someone calling him a pedophile. Because Montegraph wasn't able to intelligibly defend himself from being called a pedophile. And so he lost the case. The guy who called Montegraph a pedophile won the case. And so when Jim introduces me to this guy, he's like, by the way, here's this guy. He just lost a lawsuit for defamation claiming people were calling him a pedophile and it was defamatory. He's like, no. And I'm like, gross. I don't know why I would believe it. Who knows?
Here's the exhibit. In Exhibit 1, DVD defendant, with his face and voice, accuses the plaintiff of being a pedophile. The live stream broadcast occurred on April 6, 2019, from the defendant's Blackstone Intelligence Network YouTube channel. The defendant falsely accused the plaintiff of pedophilia a number of times during the live stream. Over 4,500 people heard and saw the video, which triggered this very lawsuit. So this is his follow-up, I guess, because the first one made no sense. And he's trying to... this is more specific. Is that specific enough?
No. I mean... It's not going to be specific enough to overcome the jurisdiction problems because he would have to prove that he had directed the acts towards Colorado.
So he lost on, just like Monograph said, he lost on jurisdiction.
Really wanted to sue him, he would have to sue him in federal court or in state court in North Carolina or wherever the defendant actually is, where they'd have jurisdiction over him. That's the biggest hurdle he's got. What page were you reading that on? 6, you said?
So it's the 11-page document, the response. It's the second page, plaintiff's answer. It says Exhibit 1 DVD.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's from the paragraph where it says C, quest response to Morphonius motion. And then the second page of that. It's just that one little paragraph.
There we go. Yeah. No. And it wasn't... he's addressing other parts of the motion, but I got dismissed on jurisdictional grounds, so they didn't even get to this other stuff.
The good lying.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have had to amend his pleadings rather than just answering the motion. He could have requested that to the court. But I mean, this is why you get a lawyer, right? The interesting thing is he raises kind of a good argument on page 3. There's one where it talks about he is a journalist with the standard of journalistic integrity. This is actually part of a defamation cause of action. Where is it? Where you argue that basically they...
is it the third paragraph? The defendant's introduction to this very lawsuit explicitly points out what a professional independent journalist the defendant is.
Right, yes.
With his investigational skills.
I literally believe and affirm everything I've ever said about Montegraph.
Doubling down.
Belief doesn't make it true. Poor man's gold PMG. It's not about what makes something true. It's about whether or not you reasonably would know it to be false.
That's the same thing Phil's going through currently. Judge Jenner Fisher. That's the same judge that he got assigned today. And here he is talking shit about her.
And then we get to file a motion for summary judgment after discovery.
Jennifer Fisher. Today his case got assigned to Judge Fisher.
Because the judge, Jennifer Fisher, yes, like The Office, decided that you needed to have discovery. The only fact outstanding on discovery was Montegraph's alleged damages. I don't know why we need those. I don't know why Montegraph needs those. But that's the thing that was standing out. Everything else was there. Our judge is literally fucking stupid. I'm going to say it.
Same Jennifer judge he's fixing to face. I know today they're in a hearing. They said Judge Fisher. It has been assigned to Judge Fisher. There could be 2 Judge Fishers, I guess. But here he is talking shit about the judge he's fixing to face. Holy fuck, dude. Nick, no, bro.
Chief
Better get a new coffee mug made.
Minnesota, Candy, Ohio County is touched.
Candy, Ohio County, is that what he called it?
Not by an angel, not even by a priest, but probably by retardation. She does not know basic facts or elements of common law. She doesn't know Minnesota statutory law. When she tries to apply the law to facts, and I know this from previous cases with her, by the way, she gets it wrong. And you know what's crazy? I know what people are going to say. Those cases that I had in front of Jennifer Fisher, the chief judge of Candy.
You know, absolutely 100%. This may not get brought up in his criminal trial, but she's aware of these. Guaranteed. If some Kiwi Farms motherfucker didn't send it to her, I would be astonished.
Ohio County, when she applied basic common law principles on contract, incorrect. She applied because she said, I can do whatever I want, basically. She was not, at that point, judging in the district court. She was judging at the small claims court level. And she said, no, that's not how contracts work. I'm like, Judge, that's how contracts have worked for 450 years. You don't get to just change that. Like, we win. Guess what happened? We won the next time we got to the hearing, because like any boring stereotypical woman, they will sit there and tell you why you're wrong over and over and over again. But lo and behold, if you just wait a day, they'll come around to your thing and go, you know what? You said I said you were wrong, but you weren't wrong. I just really love the taste of liquor being squeezed out of my vagina. And then they drink it. And then they do whatever. And I'm just sitting here going, most of the judges in Candy, Ohio County are men. How are they going to squeeze vagina liquor into my mouth? I don't want them to. What am I, Zach Galifianakis? Am I Barack Obama? Am I Joe Biden? No. I do not want man juice in my mouth. So I go, can you just apply the fucking law? Can you just apply the fucking law? And when they do, they go, holy shit. It supports Nick's client. Here's the thing. I'm not a good lawyer. I didn't win because I came up with a novel legal argument. Literally, my clients have good cases. And I go, this person didn't hire that person.
He's not going to be a lawyer anymore, I would assume.
They hired someone else. Talk to someone else. Person A did not hire person C. Person A hired.
He's just going to be a professional law cow.
Hired person B. Person B quit. Person C sues person A. Person C is not in the company of person B. The court's like, well, why are you there? Like, because these people are working in my house. It should be simple. But why are you there? Why are you in town? Why are you fighting this? I don't know. Freedom matters. My rights matter. If you don't fight the government, they get to just say whatever they want. This is the prosecutors, guys. Every bad defense attorney is 2 times better than the best prosecutor. You're sitting here. Anybody who's sitting here going, the state is right. Okay. Die. Die. The state is right. You want the government controlling what you do and say? Because the government would rather have people who are not literally raped by federal officers be able to say anything. When they go to say anything, they shut down their testimony. Like, wow, we want them to say everything. Yes, we want them to say everything, but they don't. Charlie says you're getting bent over with diameter. All because some ego and pride. Man, this is crazy. All right.
I don't know if in Canada we send them to rehab, they do not lose their jobs in any career. Well, that sounds stupid. Because he's a danger to his clients, right? He's addicted to cocaine. He's a danger to his clients. He has to have a drug dealer or someone he's getting it from. He has all this confidential information. That's stupid. He should lose his license.
Tell me more about my ego and pride, brother. I don't give a shit. People always say what they want to say. It doesn't matter what you say. So say it. You want me to fight you on it? I'm not a narcissist.
Damn. He's getting so rough. The B rabbit defense. Appeals decision. Nick and Dick react. Ethan Ralph, Dick Masterson, Nick Rekieta, Law Call Live, Josh Moon, Kiwi Farms, Maddie Keemstar and Law Call Live. Back on. Have you ever watched a movie with a black person? Dude, it's a meltdown. It's a full fucking. Let's watch some of these more recent ones. It's a full fucking meltdown, dude. They made the news.
Okay, so, all right, guys, here we go. Assuming this article's true, goddamn,
Fox 9.
goddamn here. Alyssa says, can we have just one stream where something doesn't happen? No, suffer, Alyssa, suffer.
We already read this article. I was hoping it'd be a video. Okay, here's the arraignment we watched today.
So while we're waiting, as I stated on my stream earlier today, my only real concern is for Nick and for his kids and their a positive outcome here, and that's largely going to be up to Nick.
I would love to see him get help, but somebody has to want to help themselves, right? I've seen people go through programs and just so they could get back and do their thing.
Yep.
Don't fucking goddamn bots over on Rumble.
Oh, there we go. Let me rearrange my screen here. There we go. All right. Yeah, it is. It's definitely going to be up to how Nick handles this going forward.
Thank you, Dad. I did see your message earlier. I'm looking for it.
You knew this was coming, people.
So obviously this was leaked. We get a quick flash of the N-word. They're trying to mute everybody, so they can't.
It depends on how Nick plays into the system, and he can definitely play it the right way, and he knows how to work the system. So
this particular, I mean, these.
If it was a pastor, that means that one of the children or one of the adults there has said something about drug use or abuse or something.
Those are frankly the least of my concerns. I mean, whatever. I think he'll have a reasonable outcome here unless you really.
Here's the document. It says on 5/16/24, 9 days ago, at approximately 08:39, 8 a.m., I, Sergeant David Nestor of the Candiyoa County Sheriff's Office, was asked to stop into the office to take a mandatory reporting call from an individual who wished to remain anonymous but was mandated to report. His name was Blank, who is a pastor with the Evangelical Covenant Church in the city of New London. He is a pastor to a family with 5 children. The family he received reported information of neglect on Nicholas Rekieta, his wife Kayla Rekieta, and their children. That's even more sad, right? That someone went to his former, I'm assuming he's probably not going to church right now, but his former pastor. I hope it wasn't one of the kids. I hope one of the kids didn't go to the pastor and was like, hey, something's going on with my parents. I hope it was someone else that saw it from the outside. Not because, I don't know, kids know what's going on a lot of times, even they see things, they know things happen. I hope they don't know how bad it was. I would just like them to be cut off from that. You know what I'm saying?
Really screws that up, but I'm thinking about the rest of his life.
Well, that's true. He, again, this is an opportunity for him. We've seen him on the streams. There's been rumors of drug problems. They seem to be somewhat more credible now, right? And so this is an opportunity for him to, when I say play the system, you're not playing the system, you're taking advantage of the system, right? If you use this as an opportunity to get clean, he can come, this could be one of the greatest comeback stories, you know,
it should be
out there.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to go on the record before we do a couple rules this morning, giving the
I don't think it was Aaron. I mean, obviously he's going to say it wasn't him. I don't think it was him.
Observers, first, you
could have been
are to turn off your device so you are muted and turn off your video camera. Second of all, there have been requests to record this proceeding. Those requests are denied.
I hate people making excuses for him. Well, who cares? It's just drugs. He's got 5 fucking kids in the house, dude.
General rules of practice prohibit any recording other than the official.
He didn't used to be like edgy is just his new thing. When he thought he was funny, he thought he had to be edgy, and that's his new racist thing. He didn't used to be like that.
Record of the judicial branch, which is recorded by a certified court reporter. I imagine that transcripts can be available. That's under General Rule of Practice 42 or 4.02, Subdivision 5 at Paren 5. I need to tell everyone that a violation of that rule could lead to contempt proceedings. We are on the record in 34 CR 24.
For the record, I have an email.
And Madam Clerk, if you can disable that the buzzing or bell noise each time someone joins us, the court would appreciate that. This is the state of Minnesota versus Nicholas Robert Rekieta. Am I saying that correctly? You told me before.
Yes, sir, Rekieta.
Your date of birth is December 16, 1981.
Yes, sir.
So whoever originally posted this doxed the kid's name, but blacked out the pastor's name. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. Left the kids' names up there, but blacked out. I black out everybody's name. Like I'm not saying you have to dox the pastor, but damn.
Currently reside at 12291. Okay. Your appearance today is based on 3 counts to a complaint order for detention. The record should reflect that Alex Kornahachi appears for the state of Minnesota. Mr. Rekieta, you are self-representing yourself at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Count 1 is second-degree possession, 25 grams or more of cocaine or methamphetamine. This is in violation of Minnesota Statute 152.022, Subdivision 2, Paren A, Paren 1. The maximum sentence for that count is 25 years in prison and/or a $500,000 fine. Count 2 is possession of.
I'm trying to see. You can easily look up the pastor's name. His last name ends with an M, and how long is it? It is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe 16 characters, first and last name. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, it's the youth pastor. So the main pastor's name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with 11 characters with a space. The youth pastor's name is 16 characters with a space. And if you compare it to the line below it, it's about 16 characters long.
Ammunition or any firearm with the user of controlled substances. This is a gross misdemeanor, so the maximum sentence is 364 days in the Kansas County Jail and or a $3,000 fine. Count 3, endangerment of a child when presence with a sale or possession of a controlled substance. Again, a gross misdemeanor. Maximum.
You want to coke out and kill yourself, you stupid motherfucker.
Oh, that was a Nick can kill himself, you stupid motherfuckers.
I'm going to warn everyone again. This is a court proceeding. If you were in a courtroom with me, it would remove you. So,
someone just yelled dick.
That will be removed. Ms. Black?
Judge, I just disabled people the ability to unmute themselves, so I will work to unmute people as they need to speak to the court this morning.
All right, thank you. Aside from Mr. Rekieta and Mr. Kornahachi, no one needs to at this point. Lastly, I think I was saying that the count 3 gross misdemeanor has a maximum sentence of 364 days and or a $3,000 fine. Mr. Rekieta, you understand what you've been charged with? And second question, the maximum sentences associated with each count?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, I don't mean to insult your intelligence given you are an attorney, but it's important that I know that you understand your rights here. First of all, you are presumed to be not guilty of these charges. It is the state, not you, that has to prove what has been alleged in the complaint with evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. You have a right to trial by jury. All members of the jury would have to agree that the state had met its burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt before you could be convicted. You have a right to counsel. You have a right to represent yourself, of course. If there's a trial, you could give your side of the story and testify, but you also have the right to remain silent. Indeed, you don't have to prove anything, so you don't have to say anything.
These Knicks fans trying to take up for him. One of them said, Provigil is a stimulant and would fall under meth or cocaine. 25 grams of prescription amphetamines is nothing. Okay.
If you remain silent, the judge can't make a comment about that. The prosecutor can't make a comment about that, nor can the jury take that into consideration. You have a right to confront, challenge, or cross-examine anyone who testifies against your interest. You have a right to call witnesses and the power of subpoena. You have a right to all of the state's discovery before trial, and including exculpatory information and evidence. And at the end of the day, if you think the court made some mistakes or a jury made some mistakes, you have a right to appeal. Any questions about those rights as I've explained them?
No, Your Honor.
This is a Rule 5 hearing. Sometimes we'll call it a bail hearing. We'll set this for a Rule 8 hearing. Under the rules, you have the right to have that hearing within 14 days of today's hearing, but you could waive that as well, given your right to seek counsel if you so choose. Do you want this scheduled within 14 days, a Rule 8?
No, Your Honor, I'd like to waive that. We can combine it into a contested omnibus hearing.
All right, so we could, for today's purposes, combine Rule 5, Rule 8?
Yes, sir.
All right. And before you ask for a speedy, you want to hear what the state is requesting as far as release conditions?
Yes, I'd like to hear what the state is requesting.
I didn't say it, but you also have the right to have me read the complaint today.
He's just combining two different rules. So Rule 8 is appearance before the court having jurisdiction to try the charged offense no later than 14 days. He's just combining that. So he's not requesting a speedy trial. A lot of times, if you're not going to plead guilty, you're going to put up a defense, or even if you're not, you have a right to a speedy trial. And a lot of states have limited that to 14 days, 21 days, 30 days, whatever. But if you waive that, they just put you in normal schedule, which might be, you might not go to court for it for months.
Sure. All right, very well. Mr. Kornhachi, what is the state requesting as far as release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting $50,000
we got the
unconditional,
wives here
and the
too, I
alternative
think.
would agree to RPR with standard drug conditions,
I
which would
watched the
include no
wives.
use, random
If
testing,
you're talking
no
about,
use.
are you talking about her thing or her arraignment?
In possession of firearms, contact probation as directed, don't leave the state without permission from the court, remain law-abiding, keep in contact with probation, and other standard conditions.
So I thought the same thing. The lady didn't do a good job of turning off the bell when someone enters. She did. So I thought the same thing, and finally it hit me. She did turn off the bell. But on Zoom, each person has to turn off the bell. So the person we're watching through didn't turn off the bell, but the court lady probably did for the judge's computer or for her computer or whatever computers they're on. But we're listening to MLS God of Law, and he hasn't turned off the bell. He should have. But I thought the same thing. I'm like, why didn't that bitch turn off the bell like he asked?
Mr. Rekieta, any objection to those conditions?
My objection to $50,000 bail. I think it's unduly burdensome in violation of the Eighth Amendment.
So to me, the lawyers were confused about the bail contingencies. What it sounds like is if he wants to put up $50,000 cash, he doesn't have to check in. He doesn't have to do drug tests. He doesn't have to do that. But if he wants to do a bond, like through a bondsman, and only put up $5,000 plus, a deed to his house or something because it's so high, that if he wants to put up the lower amount, the 10% amount through a bond, then he's going to have to submit the drug test, the everything else. It sounds like there's without conditions and with conditions. And the lawyers, I was watching these two lawyers. They're like, did they give him both? I don't understand the conditional, non-conditional. What it sounds like to me is like if he doesn't want conditions, he's got to put up a lot more money cash out of his bank account. No bondsman, no nothing. If he doesn't mind the conditions of the drug test and checking in, not leaving the state, all that other stuff, then he can use a bondsman. That's what it sounds like.
All right, what about
I'll be right back.
Release conditions sound fine.
All right, the court will set unconditionally amount of $50,000 cash or bond. Conditionally, you'll be released on your own personal recognizance. In all instances, you need to be law-abiding and show up for all your court appearances. Conditions are as follows: abstain from the use of alcohol or any mood-altering chemicals not prescribed by your physician. That will be subject to random testing. So the court will order that you meet with probation upon your release, sign their agreement, and cooperate fully. You are not to possess any weapons, firearms of any nature, or be in the presence of anyone with a firearm or dangerous weapon, and do not leave the state of Minnesota without prior approval of the court. Any questions about those release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor, did you say 50 or 15,000?
50,000. 50. Okay, let me ask this. Do you still want a speedy omnibus, or can it be scheduled in normal course?
Be scheduled in normal course, Your Honor.
Very well. Madam Clerk, do we have a date for that?
I'm sorry, Judge, I'm just going to interrupt. This is Katie Block, the court administrator. Do you want this next hearing to be in person or remote?
In person.
Thank you for the clarification.
Mr. Rekieta, you said contested, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yes, in person.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, just to clarify, timelines are waived?
Yes.
And Madam Clerk, just so the court is aware, Kristen Pierce is handling this case going forward.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So while we're waiting for the date, $50,000 bond, cash or surety, which means he can.
And the matter has been assigned with Judge Fisher. I'm looking at Tuesday, August 20th at 2:45.
Tuesday, August 20th at 2:45 with a next. He waived the speedy trial, so it's not until August, his next court day.
Good for the state.
Not having a calendar sounds great.
Very well. Any other business we can conduct?
No, yeah, Apologies. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have requested to see two of my clients and have been forbidden from doing so. I'd like to see them before their arraignment.
So here's where he finds out that April's already been released.
Apologies. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have requested to see two of my clients and have been forbidden from doing so. I'd like to see them before their arraignment.
He's going to represent his.
I'm not understanding your request. Can you repeat it?
As two of my clients are set for arraignment today, I have requested to see them. They have both requested to speak to their attorney, who is me, and they have been prevented from doing so up to this point. I was wondering if
I actually use a Coke spoon combined with anal insertion, so you'll never see any white powder on my nose. Now, sometimes I've got a pretty good noise gate on here. Sometimes I will fart, and it'll look like a ghost is assimilating behind me. That's pure cocaine. Okay, it'll dissolve in a minute.
we could get an order to allow me to at least speak to my clients before they come into their first appearance.
Gornahachi?
Your Honor, I'm not sure if the court is aware. April Multi has been released.
Okay.
And
She's been released.
I believe the other person who's referring to is.
To be fair, even though she's living there and Nick lied about it, okay, drug use is not illegal. Drug use is not illegal. The drugs could kick down, the cops could kick down my door right now, maybe piss in a cup, and I felt that's not illegal, right? Even on probation, it's technically not illegal, but it's just a violation of your probation. It's the possession of drugs that's illegal. So a lot of times people are like, oh my God, there's a video of somebody doing drugs. Why aren't they arrested? Drug use is not illegal. Same way that alcohol consumption is not illegal. It's the possession, the owning, the selling, the distribution. So I don't know what they can really get her on. If it was all found in Nick's bedroom, even though all the circumstantial evidence says that they were in a throuple, she was sucking Nick's dick on stream, they're all coked out, and everybody's numb, what can they really get her on? No, it wasn't her gun charge. It was a charge, guns in the garage, guns under Nick's bed. So to be fair, I like to think she flipped on him immediately with just a little bit of pressure because she's too dumb to understand that she can't really be charged with anything. But maybe she's just smart and she's like, well, they ain't got me on. I don't possess any drugs. They were all in his fucking bedroom.
His wife, Kayla, is it Rekieta? Rekieta. I'll leave it to the court's discretion. They are charged as co-defendants. I believe she would have to waive any conflict.
That sperm sample from yesterday's stream in the back of her throat, I think, was the only thing she got caught with.
Etc. But I don't take a position.
And to be frank, I don't know if that's a waivable conflict at this point, given they are co-defendants, but there's no request from the state that obviously they are married, so there's no request that they be separated, true?
Correct.
Well, it's an issue of denying counsel to Ms. Rekieta, so I will grant the request and leave that as an issue for Judge Fisher. So at least to get us through the arraignment this morning.
Well, okay. Cocaine withdrawals are not nearly as bad as some drugs. So when you go through cocaine withdrawals, you might be a bitch or be depressed or lash out at people. You'll feel tired and sleep a lot. You might just feel like generally uncomfortable. Like you can't get comfortable. You're kind of restless, I guess would be the thing. Eat more. You have dreams that like pretty vivid dreams, sometimes nightmares. That's about it. You're kind of sluggish. It's not like shitting your guts out, puking, shaking, or like DTs like through alcohol. Cocaine's not a bad withdrawals. Not as bad as withdrawals as like some drugs. It's just not. It's not as bad.
Thank you, Mr. Chandler. Are you able to make accommodations?
Who the fuck is this over on Rumble? What the fuck?
Mr. Rekieta, how much time do you need?
Not long, just about 15 minutes, Your Honor.
Can the jail accommodate that?
Conjugal visit.
Jail administrator, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I would have to talk with the jail administrator.
All right.
Ooh.
If they have any.
Someone says, I remember during a recent show, one of the antagonists in chat said something about Nick's oldest son posting something negative about Nick on Facebook, and Nick replied something to the effect that his son, and then it cut off the message, but it may have been the youth pastor might have seen something on social media and felt like he needed to report it.
Any difficulties with that, the jail administrator, since I'll be in these proceedings, should contact Chief Judge Beckman.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Since Ms. Rekieta is not available, at least for the next 15 minutes, do we want to take the next matter?
Fine with the state, Your Honor.
Do we want the interpreter case next?
Which case?
The interpreter case?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're going to pull down the screen. They're going to handle some other cases. I'll leave it going and see if Nick's wife $1,000 cash or surety bond, which tipping dog.
It's an odd circumstance. She's already released, which is a little alarming, frankly.
Yeah, that the third is already released. Yeah.
They're saying she's already released, which is alarming. But again, what could they really get her on? Nothing was in whatever area she lives in. Nick said that she stays at the house in a different room, and nothing was found in her room or any of her stuff. Opiates are pretty bad. Yeah, you're right.
Because that suggests maybe she's being cooperative to the detriment of Nick and his wife. Who knows?
Opiates are the best, though. God damn. You want to. I'm not. This is not. Hey, go do drugs, kids. But god damn, you want to feel like a fucking Superman?
Speculation on my part, but that would be consistent with her just being kicked loose. Clearly, Nick and his wife are not being kicked loose. I was a little confused about the conditions for release. It almost sounded like in the alternative to me, like $50K with no conditions or own recognizance with the conditions.
Yeah, I was too. I'm not familiar with the phrasing of the 50,000 unconditional. I don't really know what that means out of Minnesota because we don't really have that terminology here. It would be 50,000 cash or surety, or 10% is a third option in Michigan, which sounds like it's not happening here. But then
then the judge goes RPR with a whole series of conditions. But RPR is normally released personal recognizance.
Yeah, which would be like an additional promise to appear. Normally, it would be like
alternative.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh my God, the judge is so loud in my ear. I don't want to log out though.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. If Nick needs to come up with $5,000, I'm sure he can do that.
Yeah, he's just going to have to get a hold of somebody. The interesting thing, though, is representing a co-defendant in a case because, first of all, co-defendants, like we saw in James and Jennifer Crumbly, there could be a lot of conflicts in there. And one of the big issues with them is that they were represented by the same law firm, even though they were different attorneys. And not everyone's case is perfectly aligned. So there could be a conflict. And now we have the attorney who's also a co-defendant. I don't know if that would be allowed.
So the way I see this happening is one of them is going to take the possession and gun charges. If it was me, I would like to say that I would take them for my wife, and my wife is just like, well, sorry, he's been out on dope, or he's been stringing out on dope. I told him to stop, and that's our story. We're sticking to it. But I don't know.
In Michigan, like the judge said, I don't know if that's a waivable conflict. It's very odd. I've never really heard of that. I'd have to do some digging.
I don't see how they can't be in conflict, right? I mean, if either of them had independent defense counsel, one of the arguments defense counsel would want to be able to make is that stuff's not mine. It belongs to the other person.
Else is interesting is you saw the arrest was on count 1 and count 2. We knew that. Although it looks like
the charge has changed. It's changed.
The charge has changed.
It's no longer
count 1 is now 25 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what happened there probably is, they walk in, they find some stuff. They charge on what they think is, well, at the very least, we have this, and count 5 would have been more than a quarter gram, and a quarter gram is nothing, folks. If there's anything there, it's almost certainly more than a quarter gram. So they say, we know for sure we have over a quarter gram, so let's make the initial charge on 5th degree possession, and then when they get the stuff back to the police station and they weigh it, they get a weight, and they say, well, the weight's sufficient to qualify as 2nd degree, which obviously is a substantially more serious charge, from a 5 max to a 25 max.
Yeah, and then they added the count 3 for child endangerment, which I assumed was coming if this stemmed from an issue with the children being around. Kind of saw that coming. So the child endangerment, however, it's a gross misdemeanor, which means that presumably the children weren't injured in any way. They were just around it while it was going on.
That's partly to facilitate all the CPS stuff they want to do, right? So any CPS hearings, they can now say, well, there's a charge of child endangerment here.
Right, exactly. What I have a question for the chat is Judge Fisher the judge?
Let's see what this. This is from May 3rd of this year. Minnesota DFL leaders are hoping stiffer penalties on where guns are stored will help get them out of the hands of kids and those who otherwise shouldn't have them. Passed by the Minnesota House, 68-64 vote. After more than 11 hours of debate among lawmakers, a new bill would make it a crime to store, keep, or leave a firearm in any place unless the firearm is unloaded and equipped with a locking device or locked in a firearm storage gunroom. Currently, under Minnesota law, it's a gross misdemeanor to store, leave, load a firearm where the person knows or should know that if a child is likely to gain access unless the person takes reasonable action to prevent child from accessing the firearm. The bill deletes the reasonable action standard, replacing the vague language with specific language. Penalties for enforcement range from a petty misdemeanor to a felony, up to 5 years of prison, $10,000 fine. A person found guilty of gross misdemeanor negligent storage of firearms would be prohibited from possessing a firearm for 3 years. Several DFL-backed bills this session focus on gun control, including required reporting. Legislators had a wide agreement, blah, blah, blah. GOP members have resisted changes regarding gun laws. So this is HF 4300. On, let's see, in the House, author added on 5-3, second reading on 5-6. It is HF 4300. It passed on 5-2 in the House. It's not showing that it passed at all in the Senate, though, yet. Passes in the House, advances to the Senate. House passes sweeping gun control, HF 4300. I don't think it's in law. I don't think it's law yet. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm looking at all the bill tracking websites right now. It says dad on 5/23/2022. Dad. It was introduced in committee, crossed over. Then it says passed is not lit up. And then it says dad. There was another hearing on 5/17. Hearing on 5/22. Yeah, it can't have passed yet. It's still being passed back and forth on 5/22, and it says dad on 5/23. Why? Senate third reading passed. House passage amended. Okay, what are these dates? Well, here it says it's passed and passed. I can show you what I'm looking at. Hold on. This is bill track 50 for HF 4300 from Minnesota. Oh, this is from a different year. I'm an idiot. That's why it says that. This is omnibus spending bill. Holy shit. What a retard. Firearm storage standards established in, okay, this is what I'm looking at. This is from 2023-2024, 93rd legislature. House HF number 4300, vote, chamber records. What is it doing in the Senate, though? second reading was on the last action taken was the second reading on 5/6/2024. Latest bill text. And then it still has to be signed, right, by the governor? Here's from 2 weeks ago over on Twitter. Let's see. Somebody talking about the Minnesota House passed on May 6th. After 11 hours of debate, it passed and moved on to the Senate. Governor Tim Walz praised the bill passage, so it sounds like he's going to sign it. Tim Walz praised the bill as a gun owner, veteran, dad, no basic gun safety. I'm ready to sign legislation as soon as it reaches my desk. All right, it's HF 396, safe storage. The bill was heard and passed in the House Public Safety Committee on 2/3/2023. The bill is currently pending before the House Ways and Means Committee. Bill is expected. This bill would be a significant focus through most of 2024. We oppose this bill. Note, the bill is dead. It is now moving forward as HF 4300, a new version, so details below. So they did change the name of it once. The revised safe storage bill is different than the bill heard in 2023. Unlike 2023, this bill does not require firearms to be stored unloaded and separate from their ammunition. Read bill text. Current bill status. It was heard in Public Safety Ways. 29th, May 2nd. The bill was debated on May 2nd and passed with a 68-64 vote. We believe the bill is dead as of May 9th, 2024 due to the lack of support to move forward in any of the Senate. So it doesn't seem like the Senate has taken it up other than a hearing in a committee, but that's about it. So they believe it to be dead, but it's not dead yet.
That's been handling Nick's other case, the civil case, and is that the one that apparently Nick doesn't like?
Yeah, it doesn't become active for a lot of times. I've seen laws go into effect immediately, but usually in Tennessee, for some reason, I don't know if it's like the break or something, they usually go active during the summer. So like our local news will even cover like, oh, it's July, so all the new laws that go to an effect this month are blah 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 blah. For some reason, a lot of ours go into effect in the middle of summer.
Is that the same judge? Yes, everyone's saying yes. Okay,
is that right?
That's going to be interesting.
So the same judge would be handling a civil case and this criminal case?
Yeah, the civil case with Monograph.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Huh.
That is bad luck. It must just be a super small town that the civil case judge is like is doing your case on Tuesday. Then on Thursday, she's your criminal judge.
Is that common where you are?
I wonder if he could get a, I wonder if there's something to call, it's like a conflict of interest or something.
Listened to her cover it, or I've listened to her proceedings on that case. I thought she was reasonable. Now, Nick might not like her opinion at the end of the day, but I thought she was a reasonable judge approaching the case reasonably. And so maybe it won't be such a bad thing, although he has said some things about her. So maybe he could get her removed, get a different judge on the felony case. Kurt, what are your thoughts on Nick representing, as a co-defendant representing his wife?
Well, I share the judge's concerns on the potential conflicts of interest. I think it's fine for the purposes of arraignment, which makes sense.
An eighth or an 8 ball is 3.5 grams. Right? 14's a half. 28 is what you would call an ounce of drugs, even though I think an ounce is actually 28.4 or 28.35 or something.
So he gets to be her attorney for the next 15 minutes to give her like just the basic advice. Seems okay to me. But yeah, there's a potential conflict. Also, can I just comment on how absolutely insane it was that some person apparently decided it was a good idea to call into a live court proceeding and basically asked Nick to self-harm? I was like, holy shit.
Steve, what are your thoughts on that? So Nick says he's representing his wife and their co-defendants. What are your thoughts on the conflict here?
Boy, I've got, well.
So, I want to get to her thing. She just kind of does the same thing. God, look up here. Right here. Look at the duck. Trying to get a picture.
Hopefully, when they start speaking, hopefully you can hear it. I think I unmuted it.
All right, we are on the
You guys
record
hear?
in court file 34 CR 24 342. It's the state of Minnesota versus Kaylee Christine Rekieta. You are Minister Rekieta?
Yes.
All right, we've had some trouble hearing everyone this morning, so if you could get a
She looks like it's worse now. It's worse now that she's like a cokehead, but she looks like Cro-Magnon or whatever, like a caveman, doesn't she? She's got really sharp, like for a woman especially, she has a really sharp brow ridge.
a little closer to the microphone and speak a little louder. Your appearance today is based on
I think she's muted at some point here. She answers like 5 times yes.
a complaint order for detention with 3 counts. I have your date of birth is March 9.
Yes, sir.
All right. The record should also reflect that Alex Kornahachi appears for the state of Minnesota. Ms. Rekieta, your current address.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And you also get your mail there?
No, sir. We have a PO box.
All right. What is the PO box to ensure that you get your mail?
PO box 97.
He's trying to mute all the addresses.
Mr. Rekieta lives there as well. He's also a co-defendant with you.
Yes, sir.
And he would get his mail there as well.
Yes, sir.
Count 1 is second-degree possession of 25 grams or more of cocaine or methamphetamine. This has been charged out as a felony, so the maximum sentence is 25 years in prison. And
I think if neither one of them admits, hey, it's mine, or one of them says it wasn't mine, it was theirs, and testifies against them, they'll just charge them both with it.
or a $500,000 fine. Offense date was May 23rd, 2024. Count 2 is possession of ammunition or a firearm by a user of a controlled substance in violation of Minnesota Statute 624.713 at Subdivision 1. This is a gross misdemeanor, so the maximum sentence is 364 days and or a $3,000 fine. And then lastly, count 3, neglect or endangerment of a child. Again, a gross misdemeanor, maximum sentence 364 days and or a $3,000 fine. First question is, do you understand what you've been charged with?
I understand, yes.
All right. And the maximum penalties associated with each offense or each count.
Yes, sir.
All right. When someone has been accused of an offense such as this, it's important that you understand your rights. Starting point is that you are presumed to be not guilty. You don't have to prove your innocence. Rather, the state has to prove your guilt, and they have to do so with evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. 2, you're entitled to counsel, legal counsel, and if you can't afford it and an attorney, the court would appoint one for you. 3, you're entitled to trial by jury if you so choose. If there's a trial, all members of the jury would have to agree that the state had met its burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt before you could be convicted. If there's a trial, you could give your side of the story if you wish, but you don't have to because you have a right to remain silent. Indeed, you don't have to prove anything, so you don't have to say anything. If you remain silent and don't testify, the judge and the prosecutor cannot make comments about that because it is your constitutional right, nor can the jury consider it. You have a right to confront, challenge, or cross-examine any witness who testifies against your interest. You have a right to call witnesses and the power of subpoena to force witnesses to come and testify on your behalf. You have a right to receive all of the state's evidence and information, including exculpatory information, before trial. And at the end of the day, if you think the judge or the jury made some mistakes, you have the right of appeal. Do you have any questions about those rights this morning?
No, I do not.
You have a right also to have me read the complaint to you. If you read it or you're able to read it, you can waive that right. Do you need for me to read it to you?
Not at this time, no.
Very well. Any objection to setting these hearings tracking your husband's case? Or would you want a separate hearing?
I think I would like this tracking, yes.
Very well. We will set those and track at the same time. You can change your mind if you'd like. This is sometimes called a bail hearing, and you would come back for an arraignment. We combine those hearings for Mr. Rekieta. Do you want to do the same thing and then just set this for a contested omnibus? That's a yes?
Yes, please.
You're nodding, but you're yes?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Kornahachi, does the state have any release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask for the same conditions as Nicholas Rekieta, $50,000 unconditional, and the alternative RPR with standard conditions. If the court would like, I can repeat the conditions I had asked for.
Look over here.
You're going to have to. I threw it away.
Right
so
no problem. So that would be no use of controlled substances or alcohol, random testing, no use or possession of firearms, contact probation as
got that
directed,
runny nose, huh?
don't leave the state without permission, remain law-abiding, and other standard conditions.
Ms. Rekieta, any objection?
No.
Yeah, but they made a lot of you don't just get busted with fucking 30 grams of cocaine, have your door fucking. They made a lot of bad decisions. It would be one thing if they're like, hey, our kids are going out of town for the weekend to a summer camp, We're going to go buy a gram of cocaine. We haven't done it since we were like in our teens. We go buy a gram of cocaine, have a little party. It's a whole different thing when you got like the house is cluttered, dirty dishes everywhere, kids are living in filth, and you got 28 fucking grams of cocaine. Like you've had ample opportunity to be like, kick the habit or whatever. I don't feel sorry for them at all. The kids, yeah. The guy whose wife left him over cocaine, yeah. But I don't have any empathy for these motherfuckers.
Very well. Court will order unconditional.
When I used to buy cocaine, now I don't know. It's different. I heard you can get it cheaper in bigger cities, cheaper than that. You could get really good stuff. So you could get stuff all the way from like $50, $60 a gram, but it was usually trash. Good stuff was like $100 a gram and $300 on an 8-ball. But that was years ago.
Conditionally amount of $50,000 cash or bond. Conditionally, you'll be released on your own personal recognizance. But in all instances, you have to remain law-abiding and show up for your court appearance.
And I always heard that drugs were a lot cheaper in big cities. I live out in the sticks, so I don't know.
And we'll give you that date shortly. It'll also be noted on this release order. You are to abstain from the use of alcohol or any mood-altering chemicals not prescribed by your physician. That will be subject to random testing, so I'll have you report to probation, sign their agreement, and cooperate fully, which means keeping in contact with the pretrial probation agent. You are not to possess any firearms, ammunition, or dangerous weapons, and don't leave the state of Minnesota without prior approval of the court. Any questions about any of that?
No, sir. Understood.
Madam Clerk?
Your Honor, that is August 20th at 2:45.
All right. And that's all from the Candy. All right. Is that all from the Candidacy County?
So their next case is going to track together. It won't be combined. Like they'll still face separately, but it'll be on the same day at the same time.
Yeah.
That's all we have, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gotta go to jail signing up.
Okay. So that is it.
That was one of the most recent ones. What else we got? It's probable cause. Oh no, Ethan, Ralph, and Aaron. We got to see this clip. This was just posted 2 minutes ago. Breaking. I need that little.
All right, let's bring him
news,
on.
That news. That the news telegraph thing.
Ethan Ralph, host of the Kill Stream. Ethan Ralph here for the second time. What's going on,
It's a
buddy?
stimulant. You don't eat
What's
nearly
up,
as much.
man? How's it going?
Well, I've had better days.
Yeah, I can imagine that you probably have.
Yeah, it's I was talking to Alex Stein yesterday, and he goes, "Oh man, this is so good for your channel. You're like the Rekieta eyewitness guy of record." I'm like, "Oh, fucking good. I'm so happy that this is how I could pop a fucking number. Wonderful."
Well, it has been working though. I have to say, your numbers are up.
You and Alex are both pieces of shit for that. No, I get it. I understand. We were just talking to Vito, and I know Dick Masterson was.
I need to get Mariah busted for cocaine. How do I do that?
Was getting Nick's back after the stream, not after he got arrested, in fairness, but after the horrifying fucking disaster stream. And
cocaine is an awesome drug for 5 minutes. It just wasn't enough for me.
You were being loyal. You were being relative. I don't know, fully supportive of Nick, but supportive. What's your thoughts after all this now from yesterday?
Well, I don't know if you saw the kill stream last night, but I wouldn't call that supportive.
Right. No, what I'm saying is I didn't know from yesterday.
I mean, yeah, I've been trying to run defense for him for months, basically taking the opposite side, the contrarian opinion of a lot of people. A lot of my enemies basically were against him, so I was taking his side. I was talking to him in private as well, trying to get him on the show. I told him the best thing he could do, actually, during his 45-minute bathroom break, he messaged me and he said, "Yeah, I'm ready to take bookings," and all of his typing was all like fucked up, and he could barely legible because he was fucked up, obviously. And then the next morning he woke up. I thought it was funny when he was going off on Medicare because I don't like Medicare, and so I thought that part was funny. And then he's like, "Oh no, I like Jim." And then I said, "Look, Nick, the best thing you could do is come on the kill stream sober." Come on the kill stream sober. Right. Just lay everything out on the table, everything. Be honest, and then move on. And I meant stay sober, at least on air, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Now I've stayed sober completely, but and that would take a lot of the steam out of the A-loggery, right? If you would just stay sober, a lot of these people would find something.
A-logs are people that go and document everything about your life and look you up and even make up shit. Sometimes those are A-logs.
Better to do. And he left me on red. I actually got April's phone number yesterday as well. And I was going to try to get her on the show even, and it went straight to voicemail. Now I know why now, because she was in jail.
Well, yeah, and not only that, April wanted nothing to do with the internet anymore. I let her. Well, I let her. Yeah, right. I let her. stop doing well, not let her, but I was like, maybe, because she was breaking down from people starting drug rumors about her, but there's nothing I can do. I ran protection for everybody. I denied that anybody was on drugs. I said, ban people in the chat for saying these folks are, doing this, that, and the other thing. The problem was she made it very difficult because she'd show up on stream clearly on something, and, we'd have arguments about it and everything else, and then, she's like, well, I just want off of the internet completely. I'm like, well, you've been doing a show for 3 years. You can't just, like, David Letterman can't just be like, well, I stopped doing my show. Everybody stopped talking about me. And, yeah, it all just became such a mess and too big for me to
So she would come on the show on cocaine? Is that what you're saying?
I am not going to say she ever came on the show on cocaine. I will say she came on the show visibly impaired. And it was
on a substance,
on some sort of influential substance. But we would have a conversation about it off the air. It did not go well. It was, look, it's everybody's heard stories about what it's like to talk to people when you think they have a problem and they don't.
The person has to want to get sober. And, I'm speaking from experience. If you don't want it, it doesn't matter how many people are telling you to get sober. It's not going to happen, right? I tried to give Nick that advice. He strung me along. I guess he was strung out for 6 months too. But I'll say this on interview, and it never happened, and now he's in jail. So
I will say this: I talked to him numerous times about. There were times where I was concerned, and I told him, I go, maybe scale this shit back a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Nick has an innate ability to tell you, what he's read online and why it's fine, and he'll quote you chapter and verse that you can actually do this much, and it helps you handle stress to this degree, and it works almost like ADHD medication. You're just like, you hear enough where you're like, oh, this motherfucker, he just doesn't want any help.
Well, cocaine's a hell of a drug, as they say.
I've heard that, yeah.
And the more you use it, the worse it becomes for you because it destroys your nervous system, actually. And so if you have long-term cocaine usage, it's diminishing return. So when you first start out using cocaine, it's great, and you love it. But the longer
you never get that initial high back.
But the more it fucks you up, it makes you paranoid. It starts like that tremor action he was having and stuff. Yeah. That's a symptom of long-term cocaine use.
Well, I brought that up. I brought up the shaking, like his hands when we were out anywhere, like the hands would shake. And I said, dude, is that okay? And again, he'd go like, well, I have some kind of condition where this happens or this happens. I'm like, okay. I mean, again, when you ask people something, you press them on it and they give you an answer. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, well, I mean, right. You can't make somebody stop doing drugs.
This is honestly, Ralph, this is the best thing for him.
Oh, and by the way, I see Jesse in the chat.
Yeah, if they would be locked up for long enough to get clean, maybe they'd come out. And I just feel like if you don't want help, though, like I said, I've seen people have to go through mandatory rehab programs, and their goal with the program was just get through it, then we can go get drugs. And they did. Like if you're all the way through with, especially like there's some programs that are like hospital-based, that'll give you medication to where you don't even feel the fucking withdrawals. Like I know people that'll lay fucking sick for weeks at a time just to get off dope and be thankful that they're off of it. But if you go somewhere where they got you plugged into fucking IVs and drugs for nausea and drugs for this, and you sleep all day and someone brings you a meal, and you think you take that opportunity.
Nah, he can eat a bag of dicks. Is what he can do. I mean, if he brings the yawns. Well, I brought the money yesterday because I made $1,000.
Alcohol shakes usually don't come on until after you quit with alcohol.
So they weren't yawning while they were watching the kill stream. When have you ever made $1,000 in a stream, Jesse? I don't think that's ever happened, buddy. And I don't think you ever had the number of viewers I had last night.
Do you now? I'll ask. Would you like to talk to Jesse or no?
No.
Okay. I gotta throw it out there.
No, I wouldn't. I don't associate with Jesse at all.
Now what?
Jesse's pot awful.
Like I just said, I think this is the best thing for him. In talking, I've been friends with him, I was friends with him for about 6 months, and I will say that I don't think anything but this would have.
They only knew each other and hung out for like 6 months, and his wife's been living with him for a month and a half. Like it didn't take her long to get fucking hooked and move in with her supplier.
Gotten through, and I feel the same way about April too. I think her and Nick. I don't think anything we've gotten through other than this.
Now, there was a lot of speculation that you were the one who snitched them out, basically.
Yeah, I kept seeing that. What we found out, we got the report. It was a mandatory
report. I put the report out on Twitter just now. So that's been released, and supposedly somebody close to the Rekietas, and they went up and said suspected child abuse.
I have a theory. My theory on that is, Nick recently, the school that his children go to, he was teaching there, and they wouldn't let him anymore. They watched his stream. They said, we'd rather you didn't. We weren't associated. And then I think they were probably keeping an eye on him, and I think they saw that. And Yeah, I think that probably was somebody who just went.
By the way, Jesse said the sector's dead. Doesn't seem so dead, brother. I had 800-900 people watching me last night. Made
Sector does,
$1,000.
the sector does seem pretty strong.
Doesn't seem so dead. It doesn't seem so dead. So I would have to.
Don't get sidetracked with the comments, Ralph. Stay on topic.
Disagree with that strongly, Jesse. You tried to kill it off, but you failed. Like you failed being funny, and you suck. So, and people want me to host a Jesse Mersh Blood Sports. I don't want anything to do.
Really, you
wouldn't? Jesse. His MO is to infiltrate a community or a group and basically try to destroy it from within. And so my advice would be not to fuck with him, but that's up to you, of course. But he's a snake and a rat, and that's his whole goal is to destroy business, basically.
Let me tell you something right now. I'll fuck Jesse up. No, I don't fucking care. What do you? So you and I. We've been talking a little bit, not too terrible, not a lot, but a little in the last few days and whatnot. And you're here. I'm glad I could have you on because I felt bad. I won't say whom, but I had 2 bookings at once, and you were one of them. And I really wanted to make it up to you somehow that we couldn't kind of do it the way that maybe you wanted to. So I hope having you on today is. Yeah,
and I'm hoping we can still do the Tuesday.
I'll still do the Tuesday.
But yeah, I'm glad I got to talk to you before those clowns. I'll say on YouTube. I'll use another word if I was on Rumble. Got a chance to. So I do appreciate you bringing me on. Now there are some other questions that I had for you. I don't know if how frank you want to be.
I can't believe people have questions for me. I don't understand it.
I'm
joking, buddy. Go ahead.
I know you are. Was there actual swinging activity going on there? Did you guys trade partners or
were we doing the swinger kind of community thing? No, I can say no.
Okay. So
just because you don't swing, bro. Just because you don't swing. Yeah, exactly. It would have been so easy. So first of all, no matter what you cover on the internet, you'll have people that hate you. There's people that hate me. And I'm sure they fucking called CPS and all kinds of shit before. There's been people that showed up at my house. I've been doxxed a couple times. But no matter what you do on the internet, there's going to be people that hate you. If you give them the smallest sign, they can randomly report you. Not to mention, if he was already teaching somewhere and they asked him not to come back because of his stream, that's a huge red flag there that they're keeping an eye on what you're doing.
Was she, now I don't know if you know this, she went to go live with him, obviously, part of the drug bust. Were they having a 3-way relationship? Were they?
No, it was. Look, I mean, as time goes on, I'll reveal more. Now's maybe not the time with what they're going through and everything. But no, there wasn't a relationship or anything like that. But we were all really close. We were all very, very close. And I just, it's unfortunate the way it all ended up. But yeah, we were very close friends. And yeah, I mean, that's what I'm gonna go for now.
Okay, so you're denying the swinging rumors.
I am.
All right. Now, what was the final falling out? Was it over the drugs and you telling her to stop doing cocaine? Or
it was the fact. It was really, I've been saying one went one way, one went this way. I have 3 children. And I had been talking about, guys, let's cut this out. Guys, let's stop. There was some headway with Kayla in talking about stopping. And there was
That's Nick's wife. Yep. And Nick's wife did text him the night before they got arrested, apparently, text him and said, "You're right. This shit's destroying us. We should have never done it."
No, tried, did what I could. But eventually it just became the kids didn't like being there. I didn't like being there anymore. And it just came to the point where when you have 3 kids, you got to listen to them and you got to go their way. And if it becomes a thing, it kind of became an either or sort of thing. And I picked the road.
Now, is it true that your ex-wife got a restraining order against April where she couldn't be around your kids?
No, not where she couldn't be around the kids, just not transporting them.
Okay. So that's a little bit different than what I'd heard.
No, she could be around the kids.
Okay, because if she couldn't be around them, then that would explain the divorce completely, right? Because you want to see your kids, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'd heard. So it's not necessarily as salacious as it's been made out to be, then, according to you.
Also, he's got an ex-wife who's not a big fan of his. Most recently, is a former ex-wife, not a fan of his recent ex-wife that could have easily reported this.
No,
there are things that
as far as you know, at least, right?
I'll put it this way: there are things I know and things I haven't said everything that I've done. I haven't said everything that anyone's done, but that I will eventually. I just don't think now. And sorry, I know it's a total bitch move, but like the situation they're in now, they don't need me piling on with certain things.
Well, that sounds kind of like there was something going on there, but you're just not going to pile on with that, right?
I don't believe I said anything was going on.
You didn't say that, but you seem to intimate that, right?
I unequivocally denied everything you asked me.
Okay.
In the way you asked.
At one point, you may reveal more. So
in the way you asked.
I'm not saying any of it's related to any question.
In the way you asked, he slipped in at the end.
Since you asked me, I'm saying.
Now you're sounding like a lawyer. You may reveal more. So is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying any of it's related to any questions you asked me. I'm saying.
Now you're sounding like a lawyer.
I learned from the best.
Rekieta,
yeah. I can tell you this: I would show up for traffic court.
Now, I've also seen that they're apparently not on the docket for today.
Yeah, that means if that's true, then they're not going to be out until at least Tuesday.
Tuesday because of Memorial Day, yeah. And they don't have bail hearings on the weekend, so they're going to be in jail until Tuesday.
This is earlier, obviously. They ended up getting pushed on the docket.
Expect them to get bail. What do you think? I heard you talking about bailing her out. Now, a $10,000 bail, I know a little bit about how bail works.
Really, Ethan?
Really, yeah, I know. So a $10,000 bail, you would have to pay $1,000 and basically just forfeit that $1,000. And it wouldn't be the full 10 grand. You would just pay $1,000 and then she would get out of jail. What are your thoughts on that? I certainly would not.
Well, here, I talked to a lot of people I respect, and the advice is 50.
Dude, if my wife chose cocaine over me and her children and moved in with her dealer, I would buy billboards with that bitch's face on it.
50. It's 50% what you've said. I know I talked to Jim Florentine yesterday. He said, he said, bail her out and then be done. He goes, just do one last kind of kind move and then be done. Some other people have said that. Others have said what you said. You said, hey, she made her bed. You confronted her on addiction. She spat in your face. Fuck it. Move on. I get that too. I've got until Tuesday to kind of mull that over.
Yeah, you have some time to think about it for sure. Now, is there any thought of reconciliation?
Can't. I mean, I got too much. I mean, the amount of support from family and friends that I've gotten with, in the last 6 weeks, and, the way the kids, in talking to the kids about how they feel. And obviously I'm not going to tell 3 small children the exact details of everything, but sure. I can't hide this from them. Obviously they're going to, they probably have found out. I talked to my ex-wife yesterday, and we got to figure out how to talk to them about this together. But the kids got to come first, and I don't, even if there was interest from me in a reconciliation, or even interest from...
So the kids are probably not hers, I'm assuming, if the other ex-wife got the restraining order against transporting the kids. So she has less of a tie to them, but still, she's been a major part of this kid's lives. They're married.
Her in reconciliation, which I don't know. The kids are a different story altogether, and that doesn't seem to be a bridge they're willing to cross at this point.
Now, you seem to, say you...
Well, we don't know who bailed her out of jail. We just know that she was already out of jail.
Gotten closer to your ex-wife. I don't know the situation there. Any thoughts of reconciliation there?
She's married with a couple more kids.
Okay.
Ralph, I'm starting to find out. You may not know this. I'm starting to find out I may have been the problem.
Well, I'm legally not allowed to comment on...
He just said he did? In this stream? No, he didn't. Not in this stream.
Yesterday, and we got to figure out how to talk to them about this until Tuesday to kind of... He said, bail her out and then be done. He goes, just do one last kind of kind move and then be done.
He's saying that half the people, and including one podcaster, said, bail her out one last time. That'll be the last good move and then be done. And then half the people said, leave her the fuck in there. He didn't bail her out in this one.
People have said that. Others...
They're in this stream, they don't even think that they're going to have their arraignment today.
Said what you said. You said, hey, she made her bed. You confronted her on addiction. She spat in your face. Fuck it. Move on. I get that too. I've got until Tuesday to kind of mull that over.
Yeah, I've got till Tuesday to figure it out.
Time to think about it for sure. Now, is there any thought of reconciliation?
Can't. I mean, I got too much. I mean, and obviously I'm not going to tell 3 small children the exact details of everything, but sure. I can't hide this from them. Obviously they're going to, they probably have found out. I talked to my ex-wife yesterday, and we got to figure out how to talk to them about this together. But the kids got to come first, and I don't, even if there was interest from me in a reconciliation, or even interest from her in reconciliation, which I don't know, the kids are a different story altogether, and that doesn't seem to be a bridge they're willing to cross at this point.
Now, you seem to, say you've gotten closer to your ex-wife. I don't know the situation there. Any thoughts of reconciliation there?
She's married with a couple more kids.
Okay.
Ralph, I'm starting to find out. You may not know this. I'm starting to find out I may have been the problem.
Well, I'm legally not allowed to comment on some things. But I understand that sentiment for sure. And I see some brain dead Jesse fans in the chat. Ralph's being boring. No, I'm just trying to get the facts out there. They're all about bullshit. They're all about kayfabe and trying to make you look like an idiot. I'm just trying to get the facts of the matter out there. If I wanted to come on here and clown on you, I could definitely do that. But that's not what I was.
Wait a minute, Ralph. When have I kayfabed any of the questions you asked me?
You haven't. That's what I'm saying. But I didn't come on here to do a clown interview.
It was a joke. Hey, Ralph, it was a joke. I may or may not have. I mean, look, there's things I can say. There's things I can't at the moment.
Well, I mean, that one answer, I think, said it all. Really,
we're all human. We all gravitate towards things we may feel like we want at the time.
Do you feel? I mean,
kayfabe, Kayfabe is a wrestling term. I think. I don't know. I don't watch wrestling, but it's like a stage performance.
You seem like you do feel sorry for her, though.
Feel sorry for all of them, man. I really do. Nick a little less so, just because of the interactions I've had with Nick about addiction and all this stuff, and his role in it. Also because I think he's shown a lot of arrogance when asked about being an alcoholic or an addict, and it's hard to feel as sorry. Also with my current legal wife, or no, I guess what's the word I use? Estranged wife.
Estranged wife is the word.
With my estranged wife, she's shown quite a bit of arrogance as well. So that there's a lot of mixed feelings on that. Kayla, really, I'm having a tough time with, because I had a lot of conversations with her about not doing this and the desire to stop doing this, and there's a difference between wanting to stop and then having a plan to stop. And it always stopped with her. It always stopped at wanting to stop. And it couldn't go into the next year from there, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that I guess.
How wild would it be if his wife left him, went to live with her dealer? The dealer's wife, Nick's wife, left him because she didn't want to do it anymore, and went and hooked up with Aaron. That'd have been wild.
Your appearances somewhere that you said that she had told you that they were done after this stash was gone and they were going to quit. And then the next message was they got some more shit, basically. Yeah. Is that accurate?
Yeah, she said we're done after this one, and then apparently she got outvoted. That's It's not the way it worked out.
You know, I've met.
And I think it was. And what really sucks. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what really sucks about it is I believe that was the refill that they probably got caught with this time. So Caleb would have won that vote.
Yeah,
you know?
they might not be sitting in the clink right now. She look, you know, I've met the Reketas in public many times, and you know, at some events, stuff like that, and she definitely has seen better days. She didn't look very good.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. Both April and her in those mugshots, and the last time I saw Caleb was probably 3 weeks ago. Last time I saw April probably 6-7 weeks ago. And I will tell you this. I don't recognize either of them in those pictures.
Yeah, it was not a good look. It was not a good look. Actually, Nick looked better than he looked in a while, though.
I thought the same thing. But can I say something? Did he have to wear the hedonism too? Fucking tank top.
You know, I saw potentially criminal Sean the Law Tuber. He's gonna be on the kill stream later today, by the way. Cheap plug. Talking about this stuff. And he made the same comment. Did he actually have to have the hedonism too?
Yeah.
Tank top on. I mean, I guess it's poetry, right? I don't know what else to say about that, except I do see Cog, Jonathan Harrison in chat, and he's a guy who's been accused of being a pedophile by two of his brothers on my show.
You guys are pals.
Yeah, we're good buddies. Two of his brothers came on my show actually, in the last 2 months and accused him of being a pedophile and fucking a 14-year-old girl.
Why is everybody on my show today somehow tying everything back to pedophilia?
Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask him because he's the pedophile.
It's I have no idea if anyone's a pedophile. I have no information about this. This is.
Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask him because he's the Cog, Jonathan Harrison in chat, and he's a guy who's been accused of being a pedophile by two of his brothers on my show.
You guys are pals.
Yeah, his own brothers accused him of being a pedo.
Two of his brothers came on my show actually, in the last 2 months and accused him of being a pedophile and fucking a 14-year-old girl.
Why is everybody on my show today?
Hedonism is like the resort or whatever you go to be like, to like fuck and be swingers and shit, right? It's like a Jamaican thing.
Everything back to pedophilia.
Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask him because he's the pedophile.
I have no idea if anyone's a pedophile. I have no information about this. This is, ladies and gentlemen, Ethan Ralph.
Well, I mean, his brothers say that he's a pedophile.
Okay, there you go. You can say his brothers have accused him.
Yeah, his brothers accused him of being a pedophile on my show. Two of his brothers. So he's a little bit bitter about that. Right. And so he stalks me day after day. But what are your thoughts about, you know, your plans for moving on and getting past all this? I'm sure you don't want to do, you know, weeks and months of shows.
No, I don't. I thought about that last night. I was like, how long do I really want to talk about this? Because, you know, I'm only human, and I understand that a lot of people want to hear my take on this stuff and all that. But like, I also do want to, you know, you can't do this forever, and I'm going to run out of things to say.
There's so much.
Right, I will say I'm holding on to a few things, and obviously Nick keeps giving more content, but I don't know. I don't know how. The answer I have for you right now, Ralph, is that I've got a lot of info in my brain and a very slow processor at this point. There's a lot on the old plate, if you will.
Now let me ask you one of my Larry King style questions. What's your favorite moment or your most loving or memorable moment that you had with April while you were married?
I would say our last trip to Las Vegas, where we went to watch the Vikings with a bunch of our friends, and her and I going to our favorite places and just a really fucking, every aspect of the trip was perfect. It was just great. That was, unfortunately, you know, it's crazy. We were married for almost 3 years and we were together for over 4. And that trip was the peak of our relationship. I mean,
Shaq to the Future just dropped a bunch of shit on Sherry Glore. And I guess she has an arrest record, conservation of animals, cause cruel death, pain, and suffering. Worthless check fraud. Ooh, there's a few of them. Domestic violence, aggravated assault. That's Sherry Glore, Phil's OG mod.
We were never better. And then after that, we started hanging out with our new friends. And
how did that happen in the first place?
We did a comedy show. We booked Chrissy Mayer, a friend of ours. And Chrissy, that was the weekend her father was murdered. So she had to pull out of the show the night before. She had asked Nick, or Nick had talked to her, and he was going to do a guest spot on the show. I was in charge of the show, so when Chrissy left, I told Nick, hey, do 10, 15 minutes. You know, we're all going to step up and do a little extra time here since Chrissy's not here. And we hung out, and we honestly, we went drinking together. It was a great time. April and Kayla got along great, and yeah, we were both from Minnesota, so we both had children, and we're like, yeah, maybe we get the kids together sometime and all that. So that's kind of where it started. A pretty organic, pretty normal meeting, I suppose.
And I won't keep you all day. I know we're only going to do 20 minutes or so, you said, but what was the final falling out with Rekieta? You said, I don't know if you flat out said, but you intimated maybe
no, what happened,
told you to kill yourself, or
yeah,
that you'd be better off without you?
What happened was I was talking more to Kayla or April? I can't remember. And I was with my kids, and a bunch of friends were over at my house, and April and I were having a lot of problems, so I was probably talking to Kayla. And she goes, oh, when are you coming back to hang out and all this? And I said, look, my kids are here playing with their neighborhood friends. I got family members and friends over here. I said, I just don't think it's a good place for me, and I don't think I'm going to come back. And Nick just started, and this is late at night, Nick just starts lighting up my phone, and it is fucking invective. And unfortunately, I'd seen it before with other people, and sometimes myself. I mean, just that impulse control gone, and just a fucking rush of shitty texts. And one of them was, you know, you doughy fat this and that, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of it was, do the world a favor and K yourself. We're on YouTube, unfortunately. And my last communication I ever had with Nick Rekieta was LOL, whatever you say, addict, and then blocked him on the app we were on, and that was the end of that. So I just want to say on the addict part, nailed it. No.
Now, if they weren't having a three-way situation, which you seemingly kind of ducked that a little bit.
No, there wasn't. I would say this: there wasn't a three-way situation. I can say that.
So, but why was she at their house? Why did she pick there to go live? Like she could have went somewhere else. Her parents' house. You mentioned
there was another place next, like close by. I don't know how much I can say, but it was and that she felt comfortable going there, and you know, we certainly didn't want to be around each other.
He keeps saying there wasn't a three-way. Do you think she was just fucking Nick, or just fucking Nick's wife and Nick watched? He keeps saying specifically there was no three-way. And he even said, I said no to that in the way you asked it.
So That's where it went. I know Kayla had a problem with it, but it's...
Well, I can understand.
Kayla had a problem with it as well.
That's where it went. And that she felt comfortable going there, and we certainly didn't want to be around each other, so that's where it went. I know Kayla had a problem with it, but it's...
Well, I can understand. Now, also, Rekieta seemed to be sporting a black eye in his mugshot. Did you see that?
My theory on that, knowing them the way I do, is either the cops took him to the ground, which I don't know if that's the case.
We're trying to... Obviously, everybody thinks they're swingers, but because he denied it, we're trying to figure out if there's a different solution here.
Or Kayla, after the shit-face stream, might have thrown something at him, might have hit him in a fight or something like that.
Maybe that was over April? Or
no, it may have been over the stream.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. Yeah. And the local stream he did the night before, we went through it last night on the kill stream, which is on Rumble, by the way, and he was off camera. Which, didn't... I mean, you can do a stream off camera, but once you see the mugshot and you see the black eye, it makes more sense as to why he was off camera.
Yeah, I think either he fell down. Well, if it was before they got arrested, then either he fell down or Kayla threw something at him, I'm guessing.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's about all the questions I had. I just want to stop in and talk to you, and we'll do some more on Tuesday. And I see Cog the pedophile in the chat. According to his brothers, he's a pedophile. Two of his brothers, Paul and Mike, accuse him of being a pedophile. And I see his fat Hindu wife also in the chat, who is just an... absolute. I call her the Bombay Buffet Buster because she weighs about 320 pounds, and she's a disgusting, just nasty, ugly piece of trash.
I will say this, Ethan. I will say it seems like I've really entered into a healthy community.
Yeah, you've definitely got involved. Well, I wouldn't get involved with her. I definitely wouldn't try to take anything off her plate because you might lose a finger or two because she doesn't miss too many meals. Aaron,
hey, Ethan, can I ask you one last question?
Sure.
Where can people find the kill stream?
They can find the kill stream over on Rumble, rumble.com. Hold on, let me pull up my link to make sure I get this right. Rumble.com/c/killstream live, or if you just type in kill stream on Rumble. We have 3.8K followers there, and you can find us pretty easy. I have a check mark and all that. It just says kill stream when you type it in. If you just type in kill stream in the search, and it has the little green check mark, and you can find us that way. And at the Ralph Retort on Twitter as well.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. I really do appreciate it, and I will talk to you again on Tuesday.
All right, I'll see you Tuesday. Thank you, man.
Take it easy. Ethan Ralph of the kill stream. There you go, boys and girls.
Damn it. Mike Lindell snuck up on me. I wasn't expecting him to pop up like that. All right, guys, that's your crackhead of the day. That's all I'm going to cover tonight. I thought about moving into some other stuff. That sounds interesting. We'll get back to some other topics this week. I'm going to be avoiding the campground a lot this weekend just because it's so busy, unless I'm needed or kind of on call. So I might do some other streams, or maybe stream during the day, or maybe play some video games this weekend or something. You guys have a good Memorial Day weekend. Please consider supporting the show if you wanted to keep going the way it has been. That'd be great. It has to fund itself. I can't stream to lose money, but thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. We'll see you about the next one. See you guys. Don't do cocaine. Drugs are bad, okay?
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believers? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, beating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-6.
See you guys.